I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Plans for peace talks between the U.S. and Iran have hit a snag. CBS's Linda Kenyon reports.
The talks appear uncertain as a fragile 2-week truce will soon expire. A White House official says Vice President Vance, who is expected to lead a U.S. delegation to Pakistan for talks, has called off the trip, at least for now. At the same time, Pakistan's information minister says Iran has not formally confirmed whether its delegation will attend. The current ceasefire is set to expire Wednesday, and both the U.S. and Iran appear to be digging in, leaving the prospects for peace in limbo. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
President Trump tells CNBC that Iran has no choice but to send a delegation for talks with the U.S. and of his threat to go after Iran's infrastructure if the ceasefire ends.
It's not my choice, but it will also hurt them. It'll hurt them militarily. They use the bridges for their weapons, for their missile movements. You know, they're trying to move the missiles because we've obliterated most of their missiles.
An embattled Democratic congresswoman from Florida resigned shortly before an ethics panel meeting. CBS's Allison Keyes reports.
Florida Democratic Rep. Sheila Scherfelis McCormick says she's resigning from Congress rather than face formal discipline as part of a House ethics investigation. She's facing federal criminal charges accusing her of stealing $5 million in relief funds and funneling most of it to her congressional campaign. The three-term congresswoman says, rather than play these political games, I choose to step away. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
Scherfelis McCormick has denied any wrongdoing. Mexico is demanding answers following a fatal car crash involving Americans after a drug lab raid. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
Multiple sources have told CBS News that the 2 Americans who died in the crash in northern Mexico were employees of the CIA. They were returning from a counter-narcotics operation. 2 Mexican officials were also killed in the incident. Mexico's president says any joint operations between U.S. and Mexican officials without federal permission would be a violation of Mexican law. The Trump administration's been cracking down on cartels, while Mexico's president has underscored the country's sovereignty.
For a second year in a row, officials in Chicago are canceling the Cinco de Mayo parade and festivities, saying local community members are fearful due to increased immigration enforcement actions. Hector Escobar is the president of 2 local chambers of commerce.
The situation is still the same. Immigration is still picking up hardworking people, and is really nothing to celebrate about it.
Stocks are down on Wall Street. This is CBS News.
Go to the ends of the earth, half a world away. Reach for the stars.
If I take time to think, they might go get Brad.
On CBS, Sunday morning.
An update on this morning's fiery crash in Mount Lake Terrace straight ahead. But first, your KIRO Newsradio traffic brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. We have a traffic alert this afternoon heading into Bellingham. All northbound lanes of I-5 are blocked from a collision just past Samish Way. This involves 2 cars and a bicyclist. This is in the area of that mudslide closure earlier this month. No estimated time to reopen. You're being detoured at Samish Way. Through Northgate, South 5 and Northgate Way, a collision blocks the HOV lane. It had a couple lanes blocked for a while, but really not much of a backup since we have light volumes at this time. Through Seattle, it's a 15-minute drive northbound I-5 through downtown. Got a little crowding at the West Seattle Bridge past I-90. And then again, it's thick from Lakeview Boulevard across the Ship Canal Bridge. No surprises here. South 405 through South Center at the West Valley Highway. Roadwork has 2 right lanes blocked. You're backed up to 167. Considering a new Lennox cooling system before the summer heat wave? Get a price estimate on your phone in 60 seconds from Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com now.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
The victim of a fiery crash in Mount Lake Terrace was a 43-year-old man living in Ferndale. Trooper Kelsey Harding with the State Patrol says they believe he drove down a bus-only ramp to a transit center and crashed his car into the building.
We don't know what led up to that. We don't have any witnesses that have independent reports of driving behavior prior to, or even reports of witnessing the actual collision.
Flames scorched the outside of a building housing one of the elevators. It was closed down for several hours, but has since reopened. Energy Secretary Chris Wright and Washington Democratic U.S. Senator Maria Cantwell squared off on gas prices today.
I would say it is frustrating to see a little bit higher energy prices right now. They're still well lower than they were 4 years ago in the middle of the Biden administration.
During an Energy Committee hearing, Cantwell pushed back.
There's nobody in the Northwest that thinks what's going on right now is okay. Not when they wake up and airline flights are being canceled because of high fuel costs.
Nationally, gas averaged $4.15 a gallon in April 2022 and is now $4.02. But here in Washington, averages higher today at $5.38, up from $4.62 4 years ago. Starbucks expects to move or hire 2,000 workers at a new Nashville office over 5 years. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee made the announcement this morning.
This is because of the people of our state who have created an environment, a business environment, a community, a lifestyle environment that is attractive to people. That's why people are moving here from all over the country. It's why companies like this are making decisions to be here.
Audio courtesy of WKRN-TV. Starbucks says it will maintain its Seattle headquarters. Nashville is apparently going to be a base for planned retail expansion in the Southeast. The company will also make Nashville the new hub for some Seattle-based teams in supply chain, sourcing, and technology. And now look at your KIRO News Radio weather. Occasional showers and a high near 60 this afternoon. Morning rain for Wednesday turning to scattered showers, and tomorrow's high around 56. And then we'll get back into the sunshine into the 70s by the weekend. 56 and partly sunny in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome to the show. Happy Tuesday. Jake Skorheim here, sitting alongside Spike O'Neill.
Happy Tuesday, buddy.
Happy Tuesday,
Welcome
Spike.
to the show.
Man, we got a lot of great stuff. We got the team back together. Laura's back. Welcome back, Laura.
Thank you. I'm very tired, but
nice time on vacation.
I survived Coachella. I survived Disneyland.
You just went to all the fun spots. Sunny weather, pretty nice.
Gorgeous.
Really?
Yeah.
We had a
walked about 100 miles while you're
Oh, yeah, that too.
Probably.
It was like 90 degrees in the Coachella Valley, but I did swim in a pool yesterday, and I was like, I have to soak this up before I go back to Seattle.
Is Coachella where everybody... Is it in the middle of the, nowhere, right? It's in the middle of the
kind of. It's a little desert bowl between a couple of mountain ranges. Not a lot of wind movement.
You lie into Palm Springs, and then you drive 40 minutes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Or nowhere.
Sweet.
When you get nowhere, you're there.
That sounds...
Look around.
Pretty awesome.
You're there.
All right, well, welcome back. We have just a ton of stuff to get to. We have a bunch of guests. We want to tease ahead real fast so you can make sure that you're going to bookmark these times so you don't miss them. At 12:30, we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but there was a business owner, one of two business owners actually in Seattle. He has a production company, and they were just ripped off for like tens of thousands of dollars worth of expensive film,
video and editing
videography, all that kind of stuff, equipment.
Part of a pattern targeting this particular industry in this particular community.
Yes. And then another business owner, I mean, it's a small community, and another business owner nearby who has the same type of stuff. They were also ripped off. I mean, we're talking about nearly total here for just these two spots. I think nearly like almost $500,000 worth of equipment that was stolen. This is very expensive to replace. And also, you got to ask yourself, this is not random that people are going into these places. This sounds like kind of a targeted attack and a robbery. So we're going to talk with Derek Klein. He's the owner of one of these studios that got hit.
He was Olympic, right?
Studios.
Derek's with Olympic, yeah.
Yes.
Olympic and Victory were both targeted.
Victory's
amongst
the other
others. And the real story here is that the police department doesn't have the resources or, it seems, the interest in following through on these cases or hunting down these. They're doing their own investigative work. They're doing their own security. They're sleeping in their stores with guns.
Yeah. So we're going to talk with Derek at 12:30. He'll be live with us, and we got a lot of questions about how he's trying to keep his business going forward, if this is what he has to worry about. In Washington State, we just talked about this a little bit yesterday too, but Bob Ferguson just vetoed $500,000, which is really a drop in the bucket. It's nothing. $500,000 as part of his attempts to cut down on his bloated budget.
Right.
That would have directly contributed to a task force whose job it was to go in and try to stop things like this from happening.
Large-scale shoplifting that affects businesses directly.
$3 billion worth of businesses in Washington State that are just $3 billion worth of product that's just walking out the door because of these retail shopping gangs, essentially. And Ferguson decided that that was not worth $500,000 of investment. Again, that's like nothing compared to the amount of money that's walking out. So we'll be talking with Derek Klein at 12:30 about that. At 1 o'clock, this is going to be really great. We have SPOG president, Seattle Police Officers Guild. His name is Kent Liu. He's new to the job, and he's got some thoughts on Seattle. His job is to make sure he's advocating on behalf of our wonderful police department here in Seattle. And he has thoughts on the new mayor, whether or not he thinks that her policies are going to be safer, make for a safer, longer-term Seattle. It's going to be better for business, which means it's going to be better for the tax base, which means they're going to have money to do things like expand police.
And what the mayor's positions and policies, what position that puts the Seattle Police Department in?
Yes.
Their officers.
Yeah, when it comes to federal authority with ICE, all that stuff. So he's going to be on with us. He'll be in studio live at 1 o'clock. So if you guys are not already watching on the YouTube page or the KIRO Radio app, you should be, because it's a whole fun way to do it. You can listen to us. We love that you listen on the radio. We also love when you guys stream. And to people who are listening on the podcast a day late, happy tomorrow. Hope you're having a great day.
Happy yesterday.
That'll be at 1 o'clock. Yeah, tune back in. It's very confusing now. Tune in at 1 o'clock for that. So he'll be with us at 1 o'clock. That'll be great. All right. Quick update on another story we talked about. This is a big update. Do you remember that Snohomish High School teacher we talked about at Glacier Peak High School that accidentally, we had a big segment on this with Jason Rance.
We did.
From Seattle Red 770. He broke the story about a teacher in Snohomish who was giving a presentation in class. He's got a slideshow open. I guess the picture on the page at the time was like maybe a picture of him golfing. I don't know what the
couple guys golfing
was.
Right. We've come to understand it was I think a Spanish teacher.
Okay.
And there's a photo of two guys on a golf, like a tee shot or something, with some different guide words below about conjugation of verbs and things like that. So it may have been a language class.
And then at the bottom of the screen deck, when you look at, or the picture deck on this PowerPoint, there was thumbnails of breasts.
Breasts. Yeah, I'm trying to find a kind way, but no, let's be
naked
clinical.
ladies, naked lady breasts, and
exposed to the classroom. You know.
Yeah.
The class saw these thumbnails, and at the time we weren't sure of the context, and all these different questions were arose.
Well, that's interesting. We're still not entirely sure of the context. We know that the school says it was a mistake. They sent out the reason people know about it is, among other things, students immediately pulled out their phones and were like, hey, boobs, and they took pictures. And then the principal who found out about this, the principal's name is Alicia Miller. She sent a letter out to all the parents. This is something they absolutely should do. Here's what the letter said. We want to make you aware of an incident in a classroom where inappropriate images were inadvertently shown or shared with the students. Specifically, the content included images of nude breasts and were briefly visible during a teacher's PowerPoint presentation. This does not reflect our expectations for classroom materials, and we take this matter very seriously. They basically were just saying, if you want to talk about this with your kids, should you choose to do so, here's the heads up. So that was the story. Jason asked the school, he said, what are you guys going to do about this?
Mm-hmm.
What disciplinary measures? Well, and Jason admitted when he came on the show, he said, we're not trying to get this guy fired. We'd just like to know the circumstance. What do you do to make sure and help prevent this from happening again?
Right.
And we all decided, I think, on the show that we could totally buy, even though it may be, bad to be looking at these things on your personal work computer. As an adult, he's legally not doing anything wrong by looking at these things personally. The problem is when you pull it into the classroom.
Well, it's a matter of judgment that you're looking at these things on what is I guess a school issued laptop. We weren't really clear about the details.
If you're using it for school purposes, it becomes
Do you not take a look at your lesson plan for the next day and make sure there's no boobs attached to it? I mean, that's a little forethought, little preparation, right? Little class, all the things we didn't know, but what we do know today is
he quit. He resigned.
Yeah.
Now, I followed up with Jason because he sent me the article early this morning. He goes, hey, check this out. So he resigns. That's the big update. And I asked Jason, I was like, well, what does this mean for the investigation into what happened? Because the school is still saying, we can't comment on an ongoing investigation because we're looking into it.
Right.
That's the boilerplate response.
Yeah,
Anytime
that's
you ask,
everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah. Which is frustrating, but I get it. And so I asked Jason, what does this mean? Does this mean that they just stopped the investigation? And he said, probably, not for sure. There's possible they still could be looking into things, but if the end result would have ended up in his firing anyway, then they may just say it may not be worth the time to keep investigating.
That's a valid perspective. Yeah, I mean, because there's still issues of child endangerment, I guess. Inappropriate conduct in front of a child, a violation of of job description, qualifications, ethics, all the things that are involved.
Sure.
But here's the bottom line. No matter what the investigation, we saw it at the time. Maybe this is an opportunity for the teacher to share a hard-learned life lesson with his students about preparation and about being thorough, about due diligence and fact check and homework check and all the things.
I recommended, although everybody thought I was a prude, I recommended that he talk about the dangers of pornography to to an open-minded young group who's probably faced with that choice every single day. And you can say, hey, you know what? You don't want to end up being in your job someday, teaching young minds as a grown man and still get caught looking at porn.
Right.
That's embarrassing. So that's a good lesson.
But the bottom line for me is his resignation. I hope it doesn't stop any ongoing investigation, because they really should still find out what happened and what the impacts were and put policies in place to make sure it doesn't happen again.
I agree.
But no matter what happens, he would have always been Mr. Breastman. Always. Right? For time immemorial.
No, you're right.
So his resignation is kind of the only result here we could possibly expect.
It would have been quite a distraction in
Seriously.
class going forward.
You think last Thursday was bad?
Yeah.
From moving forward, everybody.
I mean,
he's the guy. He's always the guy.
He's the guy, and you know what he's into. You'd be like, hey, you know what this guy likes? He's a boob man. I mean, kids would have known. They would have said that.
I mean, it's weird because
sounds crass, but
and we talked about this last week too. Every kid in that school has seen worse on their phone. Everyone.
Isn't that sad?
It's horribly sad. It's a sign of the times. But that wasn't really the issue. It was his lack of preparation, lack of judgment, lack of attention to detail.
Yeah, I mean, he's showing
that's what it was. I mean,
kids in class.
That's just carelessness.
Yeah,
unacceptable level of carelessness.
So he has resigned, and we will see. I'm wondering.
There's an opening at Glacier Peak, and it's not somebody's shirt this time, right? Yeah.
I highly recommend that you don't show up talking about your interest in pornography. Here's the other question that I had for Jason. He didn't have an answer to this, but I said, do you think he resigned, or how did this happen? Because a lot of times when teachers do bad things, they get put into like a timeout. Like sometimes they'll be sent to the central office and they just collect a paycheck until things blow over.
Sure, disciplinary actions. He's been placed on administrative leave.
Yeah. And he said, well, it could have been a situation where they said, you resign. Like they could have been heavily implied, you should resign, or we're going to be in a situation where we have to fire you. And for future employment, it could make future employment at different schools difficult if you have a firing versus a resignation.
That's true.
Now, I don't know that that's all the case. This is all just speculation.
Probably the least painful path forward for this guy.
Yeah, maybe.
Right?
And again, it's a totally understandable mistake. Completely understandable mistake.
Sure.
And it's regrettable that it happened.
Understandable but not acceptable.
Yeah.
Understandable but not acceptable level of carelessness.
Yes, absolutely right. All right, speaking of nudity.
And unacceptable.
Things.
Right.
Did you see this story? This is really interesting. This is like a tale. This will be fun. This will be a tale of two sides of a story. So we have, the base of the story is you have a bunch of massage parlors, 5 in the story, that have been shut down. Now, Bothell police are investigating whether or not there was illicit activity happening there, and they decided and determined, based on their investigation, that it was enough to go in and shut these things down. Then you have, on the other side, you have advocates who just had a rally yesterday on behalf of these massage parlors.
5 Asian-owned massage parlors.
Who are claiming that this is anti-Asian violence, and they want the Bothell Police Department investigate. They want the city of Bothell to investigate the police department. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this out for you. You guys tell us in the text line which you find more credible. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476. Let's do the, a lot of people might come upon this story. You might see a protest happening, and you see the passion of people, and you go like, hey, you know what? They're obviously passionate about something. There must have been an injustice that happened here, right? We see protests all the time.
Sure.
So here's
perceived injustice. Yeah. From the perspective of those protesting.
Perspective of those protesting. So here's what the advocates were saying, and this is they painted quite a chaotic scene. They said that this is according to, what story was this from? This was
from Seattle Times, right?
Seattle Times.
Yeah.
All right. So the advocates were saying in a rally, they said Bothell police went into these parlors without warning a week ago today, broke down business doors, toppling furniture, ripping security cameras from the walls, seizing money from workers. They said they dragged parlor workers into police cars, questioned them, no Miranda rights, some of them without reading their Miranda rights, and that's a big no-no. They said they did not provide interpreters for those who didn't speak fluent English. According to the rally organizers, they said that some of the employees later described feeling pressured to say things to police based on this treatment.
And they felt fear of threats of deportation.
For threats of deportation. The advocate said that the 5 Chinese-owned businesses getting shut down were because of fire code violations and not for what the police claimed that they were investigating them for. And they said they're demanding that before the World Cup comes back into town, that they open these organizations, these parlors back up. Obviously, everybody's getting excited for the tourists coming into town. And
they said that the cleanup was part of a pre-World Cup cleanup.
Crackdown.
Yeah, crackdown.
Yeah. Okay, so you hear a story like that and you go, man, it sounds like some people are really mistreated by the Bothell Police Department. But then you hear the Bothell Police Department side of things. So let me read you some of this stuff. In a phone call Monday, Bothell Police Captain Mike Johnson said there may have been a misunderstanding by advocates about the investigation into these massage parlors. There is quite a plethora of evidence. Let's go through some of it here. They had search warrants at all 5 of the properties. They presented probable cause that they believed prostitution was happening there, according to Bothell Police spokesperson or Captain Mike Johnson.
They had seen a series of posts on various websites.
Yes.
That give the phone numbers of these particular parlors.
Online ads
promoting sex availability. Yeah.
They said when they went into the properties, they said police found indications of illicit activity at all 5 parlors, including lubricant, condoms, and employees dressed in lingerie. When's the last time you got a massage? Was any of this there?
No.
Me neither. No. And I would not have been happy if it was. I would have said no. Actually, last time I got a massage, the only time in my life I ever got a massage was a couple's massage with my wife.
Lovely.
It was lovely.
Yeah.
It was all right.
Not untoward.
I'll be honest. It was all right.
Okay.
I'm not a huge, I don't like, I know this about myself now. Yeah. I don't like people touching me. Yeah. It's just not that comfortable.
Sorry. It's
lady,
lovely.
The lady who was giving me a massage, 8 months pregnant at the time. And her belly kept bumping me as she's massaging me. Yeah. And I'm just sitting there like, I don't know if
it's too distracting for you to relax and enjoy the benefits of massage.
Baby.
Did you?
I want her to be able to do her job, but I
thought
I was like, I'm bumping
twice
this baby.
Because you had to double 2 people massaging essentially, right?
I guess you're right. They gave me a discount.
They call that a 4-hands massage, I think.
It was a 4-hands massage. It sounds horrible.
Little hands.
All right, so this is more evidence
they
here.
They didn't just find the physical evidence of those dressed in lingerie, lubricants, condoms.
Yeah, watch this. Captain Johnson said...
Can I just hear about it? I don't want to watch.
You hear about it. Close your eyes and imagine this.
No.
Captain Johnson says, and again, remember all these protesters saying that this is anti-Asian violence. Captain Johnson says they found a female employee with a male solicitor who both confirmed that they had been interrupted during a sex act. This is a quote, when we asked, did you guys agree to payment for that? They said yes, according to Captain Johnson. Police started investigating, as you said, Spike, a second ago, after they started seeing hundreds of postings with the business's phone number published on websites known for hosting online ads soliciting sex. They even talked to a spa worker at one of the locations, 22 years old, who claimed that her boss brings women from China to work at the parlor. The woman reported she and other employees perform sex acts in exchange for free room and board. Doesn't sound free to me. Along with money the owner gives them at the end of each week, according to the affidavit. The spa owner was arrested.
The only arrest?
Yeah, the only arrest. A woman who was 50 years old of Woodinville, booked into King County Jail for investigation of promoting prostitution and human trafficking. I got to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm looking at those 2 sides of that story, I guess I'm supporting I'm believing more notably that the police. I give that a little more credibility. The Bothell police.
Okay. I think both sides of the story have truth to them. Both sides. You're talking about 5 parlors were raided.
Same owners, right?
No, that lady only owned 2 of the 5.
Oh, okay.
The woman who was arrested owned 2 of the 5. Now, all the parlors, it seems like they kicked the doors in, they overturned furniture, they seemed to be using excessive force and violence.
According to who?
According to the witnesses who spoke to the advocacy group.
The advocates. The advocates on scene, or were they just describing things? Were they witnesses or describing a description?
I guess they're describing what the people they're representing have told them took place that day.
Okay, so they're not witnesses.
Yeah, but it's quite an accusation to make against the Bothell Police Department to say you came in and did all these things if they were just complete fabrications, I would tend to say that...
I wouldn't put that past somebody for a second.
Well, it may be the case. We don't know.
Who don't like cops.
I think there was some prostitution going on. There was some solicitation going on.
Human trafficking.
I think there was likely some human trafficking going on, given the affidavits had been signed. But five of the places, not all of them, I don't think, were doing all this. I don't know.
Well,
I think both of these groups have some validity to their complaints here.
According to the story I just read, all 5 were suspected of doing these things.
Well, part of it, yeah, but it doesn't say that 5 different locations had all these different elements. One person was arrested. That lady was the only person arrested.
Yes.
The other locations were closed down for fire code violations, which is a whole different beast.
So you find just as much credibility with the advocates?
I think there's a likelihood that some of these abuses may have some validity. These accusations of abuses may have some validity.
Okay.
You know,
when totally fair.
When people are saying, we said yes, we were paying for sex. Maybe there was a language barrier there. Maybe there was a misunderstanding there between language, and there was no interpreter there.
What about the condoms?
Oh, well, those are locked and loaded.
Okay.
No pun intended. That's factual. That's evidence.
Okay.
And 2 of them were shut down that this lady owns, and she was arrested.
Gotcha.
But I think that maybe some of the peripheral players in this may have been subjected to this confusion, chaos,
fair enough,
threats or expectations, fears of violence.
I'm going to side with the Bothell police. You guys let us know. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line 888-973-5476. Stick around. We will be right back.
The John Curley Show.
If by like the 15th of October rolls around and suddenly it's a bolt of lightning and I croak out right there, I'm fine.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
My dream of growing a giant pumpkin is just a couple of months away. I know somebody who knows somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows someone who got me the seed, the 1,500-pounder, baby. It's in a secret location. I don't want to say where it is.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Considering the option of assisted living may be one of the most difficult decisions you ever have to make for yourself, a loved one, a parent, here's what I wish someone had told me sooner. Aegis Living, aegisliving.com/spike. Schedule a visit today. We're talking about luxury communities, resort-level amenities. Voted Best of Western Washington, and with 500,000 reviews, over 60,000 communities nationwide, seniorly rated, Aegis, the #1 senior living community in all of America in 2025. Go to aegisliving.com/spike and schedule a visit. When you take the tour, you're going to turn to whoever you're with and say, this must be the place, because it is. aegisliving.com/spike.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical, there's no beating CM Heating.
Nick, you know what my dad always used to say?
Oh, which thing? Let me guess. If you put anything on a hot dog besides mustard, it's un-American?
Okay, that's true. Okay, but no, about the word worry. Remember he used to say about the word worry?
Yes, that it's not a verb, but it actually is.
I know it's a verb, but Nick, his point was nothing comes from worrying. You can sit here and worry about all the news and all about the chaos in the world. You worry about your health, but nothing comes of it. You have to take action.
Right.
Like, for instance, you and I, we go into Longevity Medical Clinic. That's an action. It's about taking that action. Like, people can go to Longevity Medical Clinic, take the free health analysis, and then they can find out how they're aging and the things they can do in order to slow down the process to have a big, full, rich life so you can enjoy a hot dog with whatever you want on it.
And now worry is a verb.
See, there you go. So it all starts for you taking action. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco-bill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Home Comfort Alliance, a Carrier factory authorized dealer delivering efficiency, reliability, and quiet performance every time. John Curley here. Upgrade to Carrier cooling and get a heating system free. Use their 60-second price estimator at homecomfortalliance.com.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. A former state Supreme Court justice is reacting to newly uncovered documents that show Democratic lawmakers coordinated on the new millionaire's tax as a legal test to overturn a 1933 state Supreme Court banning such a tax. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
Emails uncovered by the Center Square reveal Senate Majority Leader Jamie Peterson's plan to try and force the state Supreme Court to hear arguments on the millionaire's tax, to try and change the Constitution that says an income tax is illegal. Former Justice Phil Talmadge tells the G and Ursula show that might hurt Peterson's case.
The court doesn't like to have its hand forced in any particular way. That's going to be an issue that's going to be significant for the court.
Center Square claims other emails show Peterson's primary goal was to challenge current law instead of generating billions in revenue for social programs. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Talmadge represents the Ethnic Chamber of Commerce Coalition in a lawsuit against the millionaire's tax. A box of ballots found dumped near a Renton garbage bin is drawing federal attention. The U.S. Postal Inspection Service is now investigating how the ballots ended up next to the dumpster. The state Republican Party is also looking into it, saying someone found the box and brought it to them. Investigators believe the ballots may have been sitting outside since February, raising serious questions about gaps in the system. A Sound Transit train had to be evacuated on the tracks in Seattle yesterday. Here's KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery.
This happened yesterday afternoon, just after 4 o'clock, northbound near the University of Washington. And right as fans were flocking to the Mariners game, a train stalled on the tracks, leading to 40-minute delays through the city center and blocking traffic from the east side. Operators tried to restart it a few times, but ultimately had to lead passengers off the train, through the tunnel, and into a rescue train. According to the Seattle Times, the train was cleared about 2 hours later. We've reached out to Sound Transit to see if they know what happened. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
On Wall Street, stocks are falling as peace talks in Iran hit a stalemate. The Dow down 90, S&P 500 down 10, NASDAQ down 6. And now check on your KIRO News Radio traffic. We have a traffic alert in Bellingham this afternoon where all northbound lanes of I-5 remain blocked just past Samish Way. This involves a couple cars and a bicyclist. No estimated time to reopen. A detour sends you to Samish Way. In Northgate, we just cleared our earlier collision, South 5 and Northgate Way. We're all clear from Linwood to Seattle. It's taken less than 20 minutes to make this drive. 15 minutes to travel North 5 through downtown Seattle. We're stop and go from the West Seattle Bridge just past I-90, and then it gets packed at 520 across the Ship Canal Bridge. And in South Center, road work has wrapped up southbound 405 at the West Valley Highway, and that earlier backup has cleared out as well. Now check on your KIRO News Radio weather. Mostly cloudy today, an occasional shower with a high around 60, 49 overnight. And then Wednesday starts off with showers, tapering off to scattered showers by the afternoon and a high around 56. We're at 56 right now and partly sunny in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. We are very eager to talk to our next guest. Why don't we just jump right on with him? Derek Klein, who is the owner of a production studio called Olympic Studios. And we just saw a story about how they were robbed recently, and we thought, let's get this guy on. Let's hear about what's going on. Derek, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, how are we doing?
We're doing well.
We're okay. Nobody's breaking in and stealing my stuff. Hey, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. I've been a little stressed out though.
Sure.
This past few weeks, yeah.
Derek, can you start at the beginning? Tell us what happened to your studio, and then we want to ask a bunch of questions.
Yeah. So March 10th, we got hit by three individuals. They broke into the studio and basically just went straight to my camera room and took a bunch of cameras. That's the short of it. And they did such a clean job. And I, honestly wasn't prepared for this sort of thing. I mean, I did have systems in place, but, we were a little lax on things, honestly, up to that point. So yeah, they took a bunch of cameras, and then I actually didn't notice for a week my case, because I just thought one of my guys had messed up my door handle. They popped the lock, and the handle was super jacked up, and I thought maybe somebody had destroyed it. So I didn't really think anything of it until I had to go in one of those camera cases to grab a small piece, and it wasn't there, and then it just kind of snowballed from there.
So they opened cases and removed some gears? Like, they knew exactly what they were going after, you think?
No, I think they kind of were shooting in the dark a little bit. But the one case that had the majority of the items stolen was like laying in the middle of the floor, and we had just been organizing it. So they could see there were a bunch of cameras in there, and they shut that case, took it, and then they just took a bunch of other hard cases that were in the room, and I don't think they really knew what they were taking.
When you figured out that stuff had been taken, did you then go back and you're doing the math? You're like, wait a minute, we had that lock that looked funny, and then you go back and you have security footage that then you guys go back and access. Is that right?
Yeah.
What was that like when you're like, holy moly, there's people in our shop?
Yeah, it was crazy. Because I was doing a camera build. I was about to go on a shoot down in L.A., and I had this whole L.A. production company with me, and they were renting a lot of the equipment that luckily only one item that had gotten stolen was being rented. So I was building the camera package, and we were getting ready to head down to L.A. And, yeah, it just all started kind of popping in. It was like, well, that monitor's gone. And then I'm like, well, I better look back and see the last time it was used. I can see when we use things based on the invoicing. And so I kind of noticed that was gone. And then I asked one of my guys, hey, will you just go back and just kind of look at footage? And took him about an hour, and he's like, dude, 7 days ago, we got hit. Like, we got hit by thieves. And I was like, really? Yeah, and he's sending me pictures while we're getting ready, and I was kind of floored. I was like, wow, this is crazy. So then I posted it on one of our local, production forums where a lot of people from the industry kind of talk about jobs and different, hire people, things like that locally. And then I ran into a couple other people who had been hit, and then we started matching up footage, and that's kind of where we're at now.
Do you feel like is this a target? I mean, I know you said that you don't think that they were specifically looking for those items that they took for you, but they know the type of business that they're inside. They're not walking into a Dairy Queen and taking ice cream.
Yeah, they know this high-end valuable gear. Yeah.
And so this has been happening to other production studios locally.
Yeah.
What are you guys working with police? Like, what are the leads that they have on this?
Yeah, first off, so you can tell they just went straight down Google. Like they're Googling studios and camera rental houses, and they're just working their way down the list.
Did you tell the police who was next on the list and maybe stake that place out?
You're totally right. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, definitely. And that's kind of, later we can talk about this, but that's kind of where, how I was able to predict when they would possibly hit me again. And that's when I did predict, and I was like right to almost to the hour. 3 hours before I went into my studio.
Wait, explain that. You're predicting that you're going to get hit again based on where you show up in the Google search?
No, based on the order in which they've hit people in the past.
Okay.
So
they got a circuit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So I had been hit that March 10th, and then I got hit again on April 7th, which, it's like 27. There was no day amount. But what it was they hit a couple others that they had hit just before hitting me the first time. And we are all within a quarter mile apiece of one another, maybe a half a mile, give or take.
You guys are in Seattle? Is that right?
You're just south of the Ballard Bridge on the west slope of Queen Anne. Yeah, I know.
Ballard.
I know your shop well, man. We go by it all the time.
Yeah. So they hit one place who hasn't really talked much about, what their business name is, but they hit one place, then they hit a camera rental place, and I talked to those people right away in the morning, and they had told me, one of them had told me that they weren't able to get out of there until 7 o'clock. They really got them good. Until 7 a.m. So I was like, these guys probably wanted to get me too, and they just didn't have time. And so I just, the night that I confronted them, I was like, something just told me I was about to go to bed here at my house, and something just told me I need to go in there.
So you have this,
I went in there.
You have this feeling. I'm gonna ask you, because we're about to hit a commercial break real fast, but
no problem.
Just to set this up on the other side of the break, if you can hang for another minute. So you actually get some sense that you need to go and protect your shop, and then you actually do you actually bump into these guys? You actually confront them in person?
Yeah.
That's insane. All right. We're talking to Derek Klein.
And just so you guys know, I do have Chris Hunter. He's another studio owner. I think your producer linked us up with you guys, but anyways.
Oh, you have Chris Hunter is there?
He should be on the line.
I'll explain to Jake and Spike over the break.
They don't tell us anything.
Well, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more with you and talk about what the Seattle Police Department is doing for you and what they say they can't do for you.
I also want to hear how you confront these guys.
Yeah. Lots more to do.
That's insane. But good for you. Good to you for doing it. So, all right, stick around, Derek. We're going to be right back on the other side of this break. Hang out.
KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Progressive presents a guided meditation.
Hear the birds sing, a chipmunk nibbling on an acorn. Smell the pine needles gently falling into your living room as the breeze blows through the gaping hole in your roof. Gaze up at that broken tree branch and relax, because you bundled your home and auto with Progressive and have the peace of mind of 24/7 protection. So relaxing.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
Help
DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Hey, what a surprise. We got tons of rain here in the Northwest in the late winter into the spring. It all adds up. Now's the time of the year when the ground becomes completely saturated with water, and that can cause real problems in your crawl space. It's Mike Salk here, and groundwater intrusion in crawl spaces, it's pretty common, but it's got to be addressed before it causes structural damage or even worse, toxic mold in your home. You don't want any part of that. That's why if you're worried about any groundwater in your crawl space, you call Crawl Pros and you get a free corner-to-corner inspection. They'll climb into that crawl space, see what the condition is. They will go where you don't want to, definitely where I didn't want to. They came to my house and handled all this stuff. If they find water, they'll install a groundwater drainage system and a sump pump and reroute that water outside your home's footprint where it belongs. Don't take the risk. Do what I did. Have Crawl Pros come out for that free corner-to-corner inspection. They'll even check your attic at the same time. If you're worried that anything is going on with your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Your VA loan and reverse mortgage experts for 34 years. Best Mortgage is proud to be the longest running mortgage company on KIRO Radio. Get a no-pressure consultation from a real person, never an AI bot. Web search Best Mortgage for honest advice you can trust.
If you've been arrested for DUI, you need a hero. We're giving free consultations via phone and Zoom. Go to DUIHeroes.com or call 1-800-DUI-HERO.
We're human and we make mistakes. If you need someone by your side during a challenging time, DUI Heroes is there for you 24/7. They're excellent at what they do. DUI Heroes averages 90% of all DUI offenses they take on being reduced or completely dismissed. Your DUI defense specialist, DUIHeroes.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. We normally don't stretch interviews out for 2 segments, but the story was just getting good, so we asked Derek Klein from Olympic Studios to stick around. Derek, you still on with us?
Yeah.
All right. When we last left off, you had been broken into, which you didn't discover for a week. You go back on the security cameras. You find these guys walking around inside your business. You had like tens of thousands of dollars worth of camera equipment and stuff stolen. You then figure out that they're probably just going down the list of production facilities listed on Google. And so you have a way of predicting who's going to get hit next. And you figure out that your shop is vulnerable again. And so you get a sense that you need to go and protect your shop. Is that about right so far?
Yeah, that's right. After, just no response from the police department up until that point.
So take us through what happens next.
A little frustrating.
You're going to bed. You feel like I got to go protect my shop.
Yep. Show up at the shop, settle in. I set up my security cameras right next to where I'm going to sleep. And I pull those cameras up at 11:45. And I'm not kidding you when I say they pulled in at 11:46.
What?
Pulled into the parking lot. They backed right up to my door. I saw a bunch of flashlights going off in the car. And then two guys get out and they're masked. And I'm like, okay, yep, for sure. Here we go.
You're inside the building at this point.
Yeah, me and a friend.
Is your blood pressure just going through the roof? Like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, it was spiking. I was like, okay, it's about to go down.
Do you call the police at this moment?
Great question.
Yeah, so I called the police right away, just to be like, hey, we're getting broken into. And yeah, they basically told me, they'll try to get there as quickly as possible, but no promises.
Pro tip, next time say, hey, I just heard shots fired as someone's break. That tends to ring their bell.
That's what I've learned. Yeah, that's what I've learned. And I was a little nervous about the situation. I'm a legal gun owner, concealed carry, all that stuff.
So were you armed at the time?
I had nothing to really hide, but I didn't really want to talk about that. But,
No, that's fine. I apologize for bringing it up without clearing it first.
No. I'm saying with the officer on the phone.
Yeah.
The 911 people.
Well, yeah, you had other stuff at hand.
You get nervous. Yeah, we had stuff. We were prepared.
So you guys,
which I always kind of am.
You guys were prepared. I'm sure, especially now. And so these guys start the process of. Do they then start breaking in and trying to do you see? I mean, if I'm watching a movie in my head, the door handle starts jiggling. Like, what's happening?
Yeah, that's basically what happened. So the one guy gets out, he grabs a big metal thing, and I thought it looked like, at first I was thinking, it's got to be a pry bar because that's what these guys do. But the way he was holding it, it actually looked like a shotgun to me.
Oh.
And he leaned up against the building, and I saw the other guy starting to climb up. So at that point, I rested my rifle on the ledge right there, and then my friend was right next to me. And as soon as the guy popped up, I just racked around and pulled up on him. And instantly you could see he just went blink, popped down and jumped right back in the car. But then they kind of arrogantly drove away, super slow. They were basically, I feel like they were telling me yeah, we have guns too.
Really? So they were trying to send a message hey, we'll be back. You might have got it for now, but we'll be back.
Yeah. And another very interesting detail to this whole thing is that very same vehicle 4 hours later was involved in a murder on at the Fountain Court Apartments. You can look it up. You can see my footage from the police report and that vehicle. And they actually caught the two guys that were in the murder. So I'm hoping the two guys that were involved in the murder are the same two guys that were driving the car 4 hours earlier, which, that's what I hope.
Are the police taking your calls now?
Sort of.
Sort of.
But
what's
not
happening?
Really. There's one officer that writes these very vague emails I could see that these could possibly be connected.
Is this SPD? This is Seattle Police Department?
Yeah.
You know what? We're talking to the president of SPOG, Seattle Police Officers Guild, next segment. I'm going to ask him about this.
Yeah, we need some clarity here, man, because it's crazy. I give him all kinds of info, and Chris Hunter, who hopefully you get a chance to talk to.
He's coming on with us at 2:30. Yeah, is he Venture Studios?
He's got a wealth of information. This guy has done some investigating. This guy they should just give that guy a badge, tell him to go to work, because he's done. I understand that the police department's probably underfunded and stuff, but it's come on, at least read the email and at least give me an answer.
Well, underfunded and understaffed, I would think they could use all the side investigations they can get their hands on. You guys are doing all the legwork.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and he's invited them to sting operations, and he's actually bought back some of his gear. He's figured out where they're housing a lot of this gear. He's got a wealth of information, and every time I talk to the detective, I'm just like, hey, so can we pull some warrants on all these facilities where the GPSs are pinging and where Chris has tracked them to, and where they have photos of the guys with the gear?
What's the response?
There is no response. He just says, it's just these like, I wish I could share this emails with you. It's just kind of like he just kind of glazes over all that stuff and says, oh yeah, I'm looking into it. I have training this week or something.
Jeez Louise.
And then I ask you real questions and then I don't get real answers.
Derek, we certainly appreciate you sharing your story with us. It's an insane story. I wish it was more uncommon, but it sounds like it's happening more and more. Good job keeping your shop safe, and I'm glad.
Yeah, we're going to be on the lookout forever, man. If any of these guys are listening, we're not letting up. So
good for you. Well, can we keep in touch and give us any updates that you have them? I'm super interested in your story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, right. Thank you so much for your help. I mean, I think just raising awareness on these topics is really important. I know we're not the only businesses going through this, and it's just. I think the city's sending the wrong message about crime in this city, and it's almost like it's welcoming crime. And if I were a big organization from, say, the East Coast, in a city that's tougher on crime, Seattle would look very attractive to me right now.
All right, Derek Klein, appreciate you coming on, man. We got more coming up. Stick around.
How was your break?
It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code THRIVE25 for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code THRIVE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's THRIVE25.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Summer's right around the corner. Can you say World Series? I don't want to jinx anybody, and I don't want to jinx the heating system or cooling system that you have, but it could possibly out at home. So the best thing to do right now is to replace the system. You want it done right and done fast. Upgrade your cooling now with Home Comfort Alliance. Their 60-second online price estimator makes it so easy. Upgrade to a Lennox cooling system and get a new heating system free. Plus available utility rebates. Visit homecomfortalliance.com today.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Will?
When I was 50, my whole life fell apart. I lost my job, I lost my wife, I lost the house, I lost pretty much everything except for my life. When the IRS came calling, I just didn't have it in me. I felt like Wile E. Coyote, just waiting for that IRS anvil to drop.
Then Will found Tax Relief Advocates.
I heard their advertisement on the radio, I wrote down the number, and I made the call that changed everything. The IRS gave me a bill for $40,000. Tax Relief Advocates got that down to $3,200. I've paid 9 cents on the dollar. Now that's a great deal in anybody's book.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Will did and call TRA for a consultation.
But for me, the real win is I got my life back.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-488-2578. 800-488-2578. That's 800-488-2578.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
At Easy Cater, we believe every workday gets better with great food. The 9 a.m. staff meeting? How about breakfast burritos and lots of coffee? Big client presentation at noon? Let's do Mediterranean bowls. Accountants gotta work late. Keep them pepped up with spicy noodles. With Easy Cater, you get a huge variety of favorite restaurants with tools to help meet dietary needs and stay on budget, all on one platform. So make every workday better with Easy Cater. Start an order at easycater.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo.
Your best source for local news.
Newly released police video shows the arrest of a 17-year-old.
KIRO Newsradio.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice. DayandNight.net. This month, Day and Night gives you a free furnace with the installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net. There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. Try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by DEA Take Back Day.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. On a day it was thought he'd lead a delegation to Pakistan for peace talks as a ceasefire is about to end soon, a White House official confirms Vice President J.D. Vance will instead be participating in policy meetings at the White House. If the ceasefire with Iran ends, the U.S. military is ready to resume fighting, as CBS's Charlie D'Agata in Tel Aviv reports.
You got multiple squadrons of fighter jets, guided missile destroyers, air defenses. The U.S. military has taken advantage of the pause in fighting to regroup, rearm, and reposition. This is what U.S. officials have told us. They remain poised to fight at a moment's notice if given that demand.
Democratic Florida Congresswoman Sheila Shurtleff McCormick resigns from the U.S. House rather than face formal discipline from the chamber as part of an ethics violation. CBS's Torian Small on Capitol Hill.
She was set to have a hearing before the House Ethics Committee to decide sanctions for her. This comes after the committee found her liable for the allegations against her that had to deal with campaign financing. Some of the consequences she could have been facing was expulsion, but could also have been censure, reprimand, and fines.
The military is no longer requiring service members to get the flu vaccine, CBS's Cammie McCormick.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth cited the requirement for the COVID-19 vaccine.
Our men and women in uniform were forced to choose between their conscience and their country.
He said that era of betrayal is over.
This Pentagon waged an unrelenting war on our warriors on many fronts, including when it came to denying them simple medical autonomy and the freedom to express their religious convictions.
Vaccination programs in the military date back to the American Revolution.
Virginia voters are weighing in on the congressional redistricting fight for control of the U.S. House. The amendment would allow the drawing up of new districts that would favor Democrats 10-1. Virginia Democratic Governor Abigail Spanberger says it's to counter GOP changes in Texas and North Carolina.
We will set an example for the rest of the country once again.
Republican former Governor Glenn Youngkin urges those at a rally in Richmond to work against the change.
Any confusion about how to vote? We're voting no.
Disgraced Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein has heard opening statements at the start of a third trial for a rape charge against him in Manhattan. He's accused of attacking hairstylist and actor Jessica Mann in a hotel room while discussing a movie project. CBS's Derica Duncan.
What Harvey Weinstein looked like inside of that courtroom, he was wheeled in. He looks very frail. He looks very pale. He is now 74 years old.
Stocks closed down on Wall Street. This is CBS News.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, April 25th. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com.
We're learning more on the massage parlor's investigation in Bothell. More on that straight ahead. But first, your KIRO News Radio traffic brought to you by your Seattle Mariners. Good news up in Bellingham. One lane has reopened North 5 just past Samish Way after being fully closed for about an hour or so. This is a scene of a two-car bicycle collision. Right now, there's about a 2-mile bumper-to-bumper backup. In Renton, we've got a collision North 405 and Northeast 44th right in front of the VMAC. It's blocking your left general purpose lane. You're backed up into the S-curves. Plan on 20 minutes from Renton into Bellevue. It's a 15-minute trip through downtown Seattle on northbound I-5. You're slow from the West Seattle Bridge just past I-90, and then it gets packed again as you approach 520 across the Ship Canal Bridge. South 5 remains wide open into Seattle. Randy Johnson Number Retirement Ceremony Night presented by T-Mobile is Saturday, May 2nd. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. Bothell police have revealed more of their investigation into massage parlors raided last week. KIRO 7 TV's Madeline Ottley reports.
Condoms, lube, and naked and lingerie-clad workers.
Bodily fluid throughout the rooms.
These are some of the pieces of evidence Bothell police found in some of the massage parlors shuttered after a raid last week.
We had just interrupted a sex act.
The 5 parlors were immediately closed for code violations by the fire department, also on site for the raids, but completely separate from PD's investigation into prostitution and human trafficking.
The U.S. Department of Justice is investigating the University of Washington over how it handles anti-Semitism. KIRO News Radio's Aaron Granillo reports.
The investigation points to a planned fundraiser for Lebanon by a protest group called Super UW. The group says the fundraiser is meant to support what it calls the Lebanese resistance. This comes as Israel says its recent strikes in southern Lebanon have targeted Hezbollah, an Iranian-backed militant group. A statement from UW says Super UW is not affiliated with the university and lost its official recognition last year. The university says it will cooperate fully with the DOJ and strongly opposes anti-Semitism. Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Washington's gray wolf population has hit a record high. Fox 13 reports the population grew 17% last year to at least 270 wolves across 49 distinct packs. It's the highest number recorded since the species began its recovery in the state. The growth is strong in northern and eastern Washington, but wolves are still largely absent from the South Cascades. State wildlife officials say most wolf deaths last year were caused by humans, while conflicts with livestock only involved a small number of packs. The war in Iran has taken a massive toll on Alaska Airlines. KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery explains.
Seattle's homegrown airline reported a $193 million loss for the first quarter. It's being tied to the soaring price of jet fuel. The carrier expects to spend an extra $600 million on fuel just between April and June. Alaska has already raised baggage fees. Now the Seattle Times reports it's cutting some flights in May and June. It's not the only airline feeling the pain. Delta, Southwest, and United are all making similar moves to offset the skyrocketing cost of jet fuel. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
And now your KIRO News Radio weather. Mostly cloudy, scattered showers, and a high near 60 this afternoon. Wednesday's cooler with a high just around 56 with continued showers. And then Thursday, we're back into the sunshine with a warming trend. Cloudy and 60 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 1 hour down, 2 hours to go. Man, if you guys missed any of our last half hour, go back and get the podcast. You can go back and watch on YouTube as well and go to KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. We just had a great interview with a local production studio who was being robbed and actually figured out, based on the Google search, when they were going to be robbed next. And as crazy as that sounds, and then went and it was laying in wait with a shotgun. It's a crazy story. That's in the last half hour of our first hour of the show.
And we'll have a follow-up with a different business owner in the same scenario, same neighborhood, same business, about 2:30 today?
2:30.
From Victory Studios?
Yep.
Okay, great.
Should be good. But right now, we are very pleased. In studio, live with us, we have Kent Liu, who is the president of the Seattle Police Officers Guild. Mr. Liu, thank you for coming in the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's
great to be here.
It's great to have you here. We've been talking a lot about police issues. We've been talking a lot about Seattle policy issues, the new mayor of Seattle, Katie Wilson, and just kind of what Seattle's going to look like in the next 5-10 years based on the policies that are taking place right now.
Heck, what it looks like today.
What it looks like today.
Because of the policies in place right now. We don't have to look down the tracks to see the problem, and the rails are coming up.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's definitely, it does feel like Seattle's kind of at this inflection point, and we're excited to talk to you because as the, representative for the police officers, you are not beholden to the same things that, say, a Chief Sean Barnes is.
That is correct.
If he wants to speak out against policies that the city that he might disagree with, he could get fired. That's not the case in your case. And talk a little bit about that. You represent the cops. He's their boss, but his boss is Katie Wilson.
His boss is the mayor.
So what is that relationship like then?
Well, I think the chief's and I like the chief. I should say that.
We've had him in. He seems like a great guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice
and I've had good meetings with him. But he is, he works for the mayor, so he's got to kind of take her policies in her direction and kind of hand that out. Right. So I get to have a little bit more freedom and flexibility in what I can say and speak about the frustration of the members of the Seattle Police Officers Guild, which is all our officers, detectives, and sergeants.
Yeah.
So there's a extreme frustration on the street, right? We're short-staffed, we're stretched thin, and it really makes it difficult. We have an uphill battle in a lot of ways, and kind of like your last segment with these business owners. I mean, one of my biggest concerns going forward is honestly business flight.
Just people leaving because the policies in Seattle, whether it's for taxes or whether it's just being able to operate their business
enforcement,
without
all the things,
people in front of their business going to the bathroom on their door.
Right. So you have issues where the city attorney is there to enforce misdemeanors, gross misdemeanors. The issue is going to be if we, the city, if she is not competitive in that, around in comparison to surrounding cities, let's say within King County.
Sure. Let's look at Bellevue.
For example, Bellevue. All the surrounding cities have to do is just enforce their misdemeanors. Their felonies are going to go to the county level, right? So that's kind of less of an issue. But if Bellevue has a stance, or another surrounding city, if they have a city prosecutor who's going to enforce their misdemeanors, if they have then judges and prosecutors who are going to file and put these people away and serve some time.
Prevent them from coming back.
Right. Yeah. Crime is going to flourish where there's least resistance to it.
What makes us a soft target?
Yes.
Okay.
Right? The crime will come here. So if you steal a pair of jeans or a pair of pants in Bellevue and you serve 30 days in jail, you might not do that again. It sends a clear message.
Let me ask you a question about that, because you have an insight and you can speak to, in a way that, like when we had Chief Barnes on with us, he can't speak necessarily. This is not an insult to him, but that is a diplomatic position. He has to be a diplomat when he's speaking about everything that's happening with SPD, because his job is quite literally on the line.
Well, he's beholden to the policies and laws of the city, and that's as he should be.
But what I want to know is, from the rank and file, like, what is the feeling when you talk about just like your average SPD officer, when they are on the streets arresting the same people again and again and again, or they're being called out to? When somebody grows up dreaming of being a cop, you're probably not often thinking about having to deal with the people that they are now having to deal with on a daily basis in Seattle. Like, what does that do to the morale for the people that you represent?
Well, it's a difficult situation, right? And it's very frustrating. And it's just that where's the juice from the squeeze, right? So we're arresting. Why are we arresting the same 10% of the people, right? We've got to get away from this catch and release problem. The other issue is Seattle, a city of this size. We don't have our own misdemeanor jail, so we are beholden to policies from the King County Jail. We have an uphill battle of booking people into jail. So let's talk about the open air drug markets. Me driving by and seeing a puff of smoke is not enough. I have to see the drug. I have to see that. I have to have probable cause that there is at least suspected narcotics that they are consuming.
Yeah.
I make that arrest. They're going to say, I swallowed dope. That is now a medical decline to jail. I can't take them to jail. Now I have to take them to a hospital.
Explain that. What do you mean? That's just their get out of jail free card?
Yep. Same thing with
to say that.
It evolves. I mean, you see it on the street.
Word gets around the street pretty quickly amongst the community that's trying to avoid being arrested.
And this is kind of the flavor of the month or the year, or whatever you want to say. Years ago, we used to do narcotics operations. This is prior to 2020, so there's a lot of thousands of people out there. We would make arrests on, say, 3rd Avenue, and somebody's in handcuffs, and somebody else would walk by, and they would whisper, out loud, they say, drug court, drug court, drug court. Meaning, say drug court, say you want a diversion, and now you're not going to jail. People don't want to go to jail because detox sucks. It's painful, right? It's going to feel like they're going to die. I mean, it's a horrific experience. But there's too easy of an excuse. So now what we have is we have a simple possession charge. Let's say it's not enough for dealing or distributing, right? So you see one pill on a foil with a torch, and they're smoking with a straw in their mouth. I make that arrest. It's a simple possession charge that isn't going to be charged, right? City attorney's not going to charge that.
Why is that not going to be charged? That's illegal.
Because
when I was growing up, we were afraid of getting caught with weed.
Because early on,
we get arrested.
Because in January, when this new administration came in, they started. It was very early on. I think Rance even broke it that there's basically a policy that we're going to divert. We're going to have diversion. We want to prioritize diversions. So now I've got.
I can see. I don't mean to interrupt you. I understand the frustration and the cavalcade of reoffending and the career criminals that are now. They said the same 10% of people get arrested time and time again. But there's documented benefit of diversion as opposed to incarceration. But do we have
to? But where's the stick?
No, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Right.
I mean, because we look at these policies from this administration saying this is lunacy. Why do you keep doing this? There's evidence that these policies are better long term.
Sure, but I don't want to. I want to be clear. I'm not saying that we are going to benefit from taking simple users and throwing them in jail for years. That's not what I'm saying. But the catch and release isn't working. The short jail stints of hours to a day isn't doing anything. Right. So can we find a way to couple that with actual, real treatment? Right. So what's happening is, to play this out, is that an officer sees drugs being smoked. They make that arrest. They say they swallowed dope. Okay, now there's a 4 to 6 hour observation period that I got to go to the hospital for. We work a 10-hour shift. Patrol works a 10-hour shift.
Do you have to stay, if you make that arrest, do you have to stay with that person for that 4 to 6 hours?
Yeah. So now we have a simple misdemeanor. We're to go back to the other business stuff. We're hardly making minimums. So we're short-staffed, we're stretched thin, and now I'm going to take 2 officers on a simple narcotics arrest for 6 to 8 hours of a 10-hour shift, all for this person to get booked in and maybe released later that day or the next day.
What's the
so when somebody calls in and you drive by an open-air drug market, and you call that in at 9 a.m., and you drive by the next day at 9 a.m., nothing's changed because the person that I might have arrested is already back out there.
They're back doing the same thing.
In the same place.
So what's the solution moving forward? I know it's a big question. I apologize. I know. And if you had a blank check in the ear of the mayor, what would get it done?
Ooh, I think that's probably a bigger question for the region. I don't know that all of this is going to fall on or should fall on Seattle at this point. Right. I think.
But we are the soft target.
We are the soft target. Right. So at some point you've got to start enforcing your misdemeanors and be competitive with these other cities. And then my concern, going back to my original concern, is business flight. If I can't clean up the streets, if I can't have my officers clean up the streets, are you really going to browse downtown and look at a vacant storefront and say, you know what, I'm going to start a business here?
No.
I'm going to expand here, right? Instead, we're seeing the opposite. So you have a Bellevue, or pick another municipality surrounding here that just enforces their misdemeanors.
You know what's interesting about that is it's such a simple thing. The laws are already on the books.
Yeah.
You could just enforce the laws and the cities would get better. But apparently Seattle doesn't have an appetite for enforcing these laws.
Well, they don't have the manpower. Is it a matter of being so shortly staffed?
No, that's it.
That's a component of it, sure.
But they don't enforce the laws.
But
that's the problem.
But the other problem is, if the laws are enforced, right, but then it's an uphill battle to book people into jail. And then they're released.
If you get why don't you see this problem in Bellevue? Like, why? What is Seattle? What
do they have
can
adequate
Seattle
police
send
force?
somebody to Bellevue?
I would say that they're probably a little bit better staffed than us, and I don't know their exact numbers.
Do they have a local misdemeanor jail they can put people in?
They have a different jail that they're using.
That's
right.
yeah.
So they're contracting with a different jail. They probably also have prosecutors and judges who are pushing forward these crimes and charging these crimes.
Is that not something that Seattle has?
No, I don't believe so. At least not in that extent. That's something that's going to fall on Erica Adams as the new city attorney, and to see exactly what she's going to follow through with charges.
Is the matter just
but then it also goes to the judges.
Is it a matter of overwhelming numbers for the city? Can they just not keep up with this? I mean, it's an easier, smaller sample size in Bellevue or one of these other smaller communities to do what needs to be done with just the volume of people here.
Sure,
because we're a soft target.
There's a backlog, and I think Erica Adams talked about that, and so did Ann Davison when she walked in. There's a backlog of cases, right? So that's the part of the issue too, is where you get into right. The prosecutor's got to figure out a way to get through these cases, this backlog, right? And some of that is probably just unfortunately not charging some of it.
What do you do for like, I've had friends who I have a lot of friends who are cops, but also former cops who, during all the protests and everything that has been happening these last 6 years, have just decided this job is too big of a liability for me and my family. And so they've moved into different careers. I have one friend in particular who was a police officer for, I think, 15 years and now runs an excavation company because it just became too big of a burden on his shoulders, and the job was not what he signed up for.
Too much risk, not enough reward.
Well, yeah, and it's a liability in places like, there are parts of our state that are going to go after cops for doing their job, and I think that's a massive problem. So, like, how do you, as the president of the Police Officers Guild, Seattle Police Officers Guild, how do you keep them motivated and excited and enthusiastic and hopeful that this is the best career choice for them? Because it should be. These guys are heroes. These guys and girls are heroes. Yeah.
It is certainly frustrating. I think they really have to focus on what they can do. The drug stuff becomes completely overwhelming for them just because there's just no real way to clean that up. So then they need to focus on what they can do, right? And the arrests that they can make. And some of that's just not always easy. I don't have maybe the best answer for that, because it really depends on the officers and really what motivates them or what discourages them.
Sure.
Right. So some of that is kind of personal for them as to what keeps them here and going. Largely, I think we do attend calls that are rewarding, that are fulfilling, that we are saving some lives and we are making some differences. But then there is the other side of it that is discouraging, very discouraging.
How do you? We know that the numbers are one of the biggest issues facing the Seattle Police Department. Recruiting numbers and staffing, full staffing. Do these policies of this administration make it almost impossible to get new recruits to come in? Are they doing a good job? Are they bringing new people in?
We're bringing new people in. We have a lot of people in the pipeline, actually. So I will say that.
That's great.
So we are climbing back up that hill, right, to getting better staffed. But the problem of going back to, say, 2020 is you can't vilify this profession and then lose hundreds of officers and then one day say, you know what, we need more cops.
Yeah.
Right?
And then act like they don't know why there's no cops.
You can't just turn that spigot back on immediately, right? So I think we've turned that spigot back on to a point, right? But now we've got to get people trained and out there and up to speed on everything. So that's difficult. But that also, those hundreds of officers didn't just fall off patrol. That also impacts investigations, which kind of goes back to your story or your caller before me.
Or business owners, yeah.
Can you? We just have a couple minutes left, but Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson has a pretty controversial stance in some people's opinions. I share that opinion in the way that she wants SPD to interact with federal agents who come into town. What's your take on that with regards to ICE? Like what position is that putting police officers in? What position is that putting the public in as a result of that relationship?
Well, it's putting SPOG members in the middle where we don't need to be. All right. So we're becoming the political pawn in this. Right. So the idea, let's go back. Right. So you remember years ago, the Charlottesville incident?
Yeah.
Right. So that protest, that riot or demonstration, right, came to Seattle after that. And we had two opposing groups. So we had a group that started, I think, in Westlake Park and one that started in Denny Park. It was our job as the police to not take a side, to remain apolitical, and just keep those two parties apart. Why? Because there's a flashpoint. They're going to get at it physically, and that's not safe for either side.
Mm-hmm.
How is this ICE controversy any different? You have, look at Minnesota, look at Portland. The danger becomes ICE has an operation that they can do, they have the authority to do, that we don't have the jurisdiction over.
To stop them from doing it.
We cannot stop them from doing it, right? So we can disagree with that mission, right? We can voice our displeasure in that. However, I think as officers, as SPOG members, we have an obligation to make sure that those two parties don't interact. Well, the danger, we know that if the demonstrators who are anti-ICE and federal officers, we know that that's a flashpoint.
Yeah, but is that because of the actions or the work habits, the sometimes criminality of how ICE operates? I mean, you're not talking about two different protest groups. You're talking about a protest group. You're talking about a federal agency who's going out without identification, who's hiding their faces. I mean, you wouldn't expect Seattle Police Department to be interacting with the community without being identifiable, without wearing body cams, all these different things, right? So we're talking about, is the problem here how ICE is interacting with these communities, or the fact that Seattle Police Department is being asked to hold ICE accountable with regard to protecting the citizenry that pays Seattle Police Department?
I have no jurisdiction over ICE.
Let me pause you real fast, because this is a great question, and I don't want to short you on your response.
Can you
stick around for one more segment?
Yep.
All right. On the other half of this break, or on the other side of this break, we're going to get Kent's response. We're talking to Kent Liu, president of the Seattle Police Officers Guild. Stick around. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
Local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO News Radio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Washington's lottery gives out a lot of green to winners in schools and retailers awesomely. Nearly 600 mil to people that play. Another 180 mil to vocational training and education from preschool to college. Now you got the knowledge, a win-win for all of us. Play Washington lottery, lottery, lottery. Play Washington lottery, lottery.
Visit WaLottery.com. Who benefits to learn more.
A legendary night for a legendary arm. The one and only Randy Johnson.
Swing and a miss. He's got number 14.
See the big unit make more Mariners history on Saturday, May 2nd, as his number 51 is retired at T-Mobile Park. The first Mariners pitcher to throw a no-hitter.
Randy looks to the skies. That is covered by the Dome and Bedlam.
Win the Cy Young Award.
And there's 19. That is a new American League record by a left-hander.
And be inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame.
The trade to Seattle set my career in motion.
He was dominant. He was intimidating. He was electric. Join us in celebrating the big unit for 2 great nights presented by T-Mobile. Friday, May 1st. Score your own number 51 on Randy Johnson 80s Jersey Night. And be there Saturday, May 2nd for Randy Johnson number retirement ceremony night.
Very proud to have played there for 10 years. Thank you, Seattle.
Get your tickets at mariners.com/big unit.
Owie,
Wowie!
What's with the...
Water heater's worn out.
Way less hot water?
Takes a lot longer, too.
Sounds like a goner.
Worst of all?
What?
Wasn't planning on it.
We can help.
Apollo Plumbing.
Ready right now to get you...
in hot water.
Same day.
Not this day. My budget.
How about with easy payments?
How much easy?
Around $50 a month with approved credit.
A new water heater?
50 gallons of 100% hot water delight.
For about $50 a month.
51, 52 to be precise.
And you can do it
today, if that's what you need.
Is it ever?
Apollo installs new ones with code upgrades.
Can't beat that.
Actually, I can.
What?
Your same-day water heater replacement includes Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
Which means?
Apollo Plumbing covers your new water heater for life.
You mean should it ever wear out?
Apollo Plumbing replaces it free.
And if it needs service?
Service is included for our A-list members.
Wow!
Your new water heater is ready
right now
at apolloplumbing.com.
Looking for lumber with a story? Then you've got to check out the new Earthwise Salvage Lumber Warehouse in Soto. Be the first to get your hands on reclaimed lumber with original character and local history. Their warehouse is packed with new inventory now. But when this wood is gone, it's gone. So act fast. Come visit the Salvage Lumber Warehouse for the grand opening on May 2nd from 11 to 3 in Soto. And remember, this lumber is harvested from structures, not forests. Find them at ewsalvage.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The future of home comfort is here. The new Carrier Infinity system delivers premium home heating and cooling with innovative filtration for healthy air and over-the-air software updates that help optimize performance. Carrier, for the world we share.
Save up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates when you purchase a premium heating or cooling system, while also taking advantage of a special financing offer of 0% APR for 60 months. For details, visit CarrierNorthwest.com. That's CarrierNorthwest.com. D.R. Horton's National Red Tag Sales Event is going on right now through May 3rd. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. New this hour, President Trump says he is extending a ceasefire with Iran. It was set to expire in the coming hours. In a social media post, the president says the military will continue its blockade in the Strait of Hormuz as the U.S. waits for Iran's peace proposal. More from CBS's Natalie Brand.
President Trump, speaking to CNBC by phone, said the military has restocked during the pause in fighting.
Well, I expect to be bombing because I think that's a better attitude to go in with. But we're ready to go. I mean, the military is raring to go.
Iran's judiciary chief acknowledged negotiations may fail and warned the probability of attacks from the U.S. is high.
The U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright squared off today with Washington Democratic U.S. Senator Maria Cantwell about gas prices. Wright says while prices are high now, they were even higher 4 years ago during the Biden administration.
No one thinks it's okay. We're trying to.
I didn't say okay. I just said cheaper than they were during the Biden administration, and they will be cheaper as time goes forward. They will continue to come down.
And things were horrible during Katrina, but does that mean we want to still have hurricanes and devastation, or do we want to try to get out of the way in front of them?
Now, the national average was higher in April 2022, but Washington's average is higher now at $5.38 a gallon. 4 years ago, it was $4.62. To the closing bell report, Starbucks is making a big move east. The coffee giant planning to relocate or hire 2,000 employees in Nashville over the next 5 years, part of its turnaround strategy. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee made that announcement today.
Its brand has been associated with great things across this country.
That audio courtesy of WKRN-TV. Company leaders say the expansion will complement, not replace, its Seattle headquarters. Alaska Airlines is canceling some flights as the war in Iran sends jet fuel prices skyrocketing. Spokesperson says those cuts mostly affect late-night departures in busy markets. Seattle-based carrier announced it lost $193 million in the first quarter of this year. Alaska already raising baggage fees to cope with those losses. At the close today on Wall Street, stocks closed lower, erasing earlier gains this morning. The Dow off 293, NASDAQ down 144, and S&P 500 off 45 points. Now to the real-time traffic desk at 1:33. Here's Nate Connors.
Right on, Aaron. Day and night plumbing, heating, cooling, and electric has the update in Renton, northbound 405 at Northeast 44th there at the VMAC. A collision's been moved from your left general purpose lane over to the right lane, and we're backed up bumper to bumper to the Maple Valley Highway. It's a half hour from Renton into Bellevue, about a 20-minute delay here. So South 405, we're scattered, slowing from Factoria to the scene. Bellevue to Renton's at 15 minutes. Here in Seattle, North 5 slows near the Michigan curve now, past I-90, and then the Ship Canal Bridge backup starts as you approach 520. 20 minutes to get through all this. South 5 continues to look great, just some minor slowing here in the heart of downtown. And right now, the Hood Canal Bridge just closed to vehicle traffic for their routine inspections, and depending on what crews find, this can take anywhere from 15 minutes up to 1 hour. This month, when you install a new AC or heat pump, you'll get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Scheduled today at dayandnight.net. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Your forecast is going to be much cooler today with a few showers here and there. Some more rain tomorrow, but not a ton to get through. Then the rest of the week looks great. The weekend will be dry with highs in the upper 60s and low 70s. Right now, 60 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. We are talking right now. We're joined in studio by guest Kent Liu. He's the president of the Seattle Police Officers Guild. One of the things that we're chatting about is Katie Wilson, Mayor Katie Wilson, Seattle. Her mandate that SPD become basically watchers of ICE. When ICE comes to town, SPD is going to go out there, and it's not quite clear what she's demanding that they do. And Kent was making the assessment just before the break that this kind of turns the police officers into political pawns. And Spike, you had a question before the break. Maybe you can reset that up, and then we can get Kent's response.
Yeah, because it's my understanding of the mayor, and it's first off a state policy and a city policy, that local resources are not used to enforce federal immigration policy. That's state law. That's city law. So that in itself would put the law enforcement community in Seattle at odds with federal agencies. And Kim is saying that it puts us at in direct conflict with federal agents. But it's my belief, and I don't think I'm wrong here, that the city of Seattle works for the citizens of the police department works for the citizens of Seattle. And if you find federal agents violating civil rights and liberties of Seattle's citizens, it's the city police department's job is to advocate and protect its citizenry from what it's clearly demonstrated as often overreach by ICE. I mean, take the example of the second shooting in Minneapolis. A guy is filming an officer, right? That's his civil right to film and protest, and an officer then pursues him across the street and confronts him as he's at a sidewalk, and escalates to what ended up being a fatal shooting. I mean, so what is the city of Seattle supposed to do for its citizens when ICE comes to town and breaks laws?
So take the Minneapolis example, okay? The city knows that protesters and ICE, that is going to be a flashpoint. What we should be doing, in my opinion, is maintaining public safety, letting the demonstrators demonstrate and exercise their First Amendment rights, understand ICE has an operation that we cannot interfere with. It is not our job to obstruct federal law enforcement.
But I'm with you, and I fully agree with that. Enforcing federal immigration policy is their right to do so.
Right.
But what happens when that steps out of the bounds of enforcing policy? When they're confronting a protester, that's not enforcing immigration policy. That's violating the civil rights of a protester recording their actions.
Well, so that's where, again, that flashpoint exists, right? So it should be our job, just like on any other protests, where we have shown up, we remain apolitical,
Yeah, agreed.
And we keep the two parties apart.
You'll stop ICE from then going and confronting protesters?
Well, also you would stop protesters from infringing or
interfering in
a political
as they should. As Senate police should. Yeah.
So what we're seeing, or what we saw in Minneapolis, and even from footage in Portland, is that you have anti-ICE protesters. Again, First Amendment rights, great. Don't have a problem with that. But we've got to do it safely. These are federal law enforcement officers that are going to act a certain way, and you're pushing them in a position where they're going to now deal with crowd management on top of the mission that they already have. I think it's inappropriate.
Well, it's inappropriate, and they're not trained for it.
Correct.
They're grossly undertrained.
Hence Minneapolis.
Yeah,
we
agreed.
All right. So in my opinion, we have 2 people killed in Minneapolis because police were sidelined. Why can't police remain apolitical? Stand between, right? So now what you're doing is I don't have to condone the ICE operation, but we also have the department and the city acknowledging that they can't stop it. They don't have the jurisdiction over it, right? So I'm not saying the reporting the investigation of it, right? Look, we're going to respond to a call for service. We're going to have our body-worn recording, right?
Yeah.
The idea
as you should.
that we are going to approach, depending on what the situation is, we're going to approach federal law enforcement, and we're going to what? Require their ID? Compel them to be ID'd?
I think. Well, if the city law says that they're not allowed to wear masks, and that was just recently passed, federal agents aren't allowed to wear masks.
Our city law is not going to impact federal, right? So we're passing these.
So is that a toothless law that the city can't say?
100%.
Yes,
it's virtue signaling. Why are we spending all this time in Olympia passing a state bill, right? Ferguson is bragging about signing a bill that says law enforcement can't wear masks. Okay, so I can't wear a mask, but we're using that to virtue signal to say
federal agencies have the right
clause.
to.
We've talked about this on the show, right?
Right. They're not going to be able to. So they're not going to have any teeth on what the feds are doing.
The federal law has the right. Federal agencies have the right to come in without proper identification.
Yeah, I don't see how our state law is going to supersede what they're coming forward.
I need to read more on the issue, but it was my understanding that federal law. One of the issues with ICE is that they aren't. They should be required. Then they're not required to wear badges, to wear identifications to who they are. The people come out that are completely dressed in black and have their faces covered, and there's no way to know if they're law enforcement or not.
Yeah,
and there's no way to protect the citizenry.
I think the problem is going to be sending us in to investigate federal law enforcement. Right, and that's not really our scope, right? I don't think that we can really, depending on the situation, do that safely, right? So if you're envisioning a small controlled situation where someone calls 911 and says, help, my so-and-so is being kidnapped, if we respond to a call for service and we see, well, that looks like a bunch of uniformed federal agents and such, right?
Well, what if it's not, though?
What
if it's an unmarked vehicle, which they always are?
Well, then again, I think what you're doing is you're responding to that call for service, and you are conducting an investigation up until the point you realize, okay, this is a real operation here, right? So, if you're seeing some plainclothes people pull somebody into a car, that's entirely different, and I think you need to investigate up to the point.
But not stopping them.
If you learn that they're federal agents, I don't know that you have the authority to stop them. At what point are we interfering with federal agents?
You say and I don't mean to be so confrontational, but you say if we learn they're federal agents, but we're not allowed to ask them to provide proof that they're federal agents?
I assume we can ask. I don't know that they will provide.
Well,
right, and this is putting us in the middle where things become unclear and confusing.
And this is why there's a funding shutdown in D.C. because the Democrats want them to require federal officers to identify themselves, to be accountable, and there's pushback that requirement is being asked of them.
So my big concern here, though, when it relates to public safety, is I think we should be in the position of not allowing that flashpoint to exist. I don't want another Minneapolis.
You're spot on. We should separate the two groups. As much as we should stop protesters from interfering with federal operations, we should also stop federal operations from interfering with the civil rights of protesters.
Well, wouldn't that? I think what you're saying, Mr. Lewis, wouldn't it be better if the situation that happened in Minneapolis, or like in the Renee Good or Alex Preddy situations, if police had been allowed to be the intermediary between the two, and those were both, as I understand it, those were both lawful investigations that that ICE was conducting. if the police are standing between ICE and the protesters, then somebody doesn't get shot, right?
Precisely.
And so Seattle is not doing that. And so it does put you guys, like you were saying,
Minneapolis didn't do it.
Seattle, well, in the wake they did decide, hey, it would be a better idea for the safety of our citizens if Minneapolis
But after 2 people were killed.
But after 2 people were killed. And what you're saying is,
we don't need to go there.
Stop that from happening in the first place.
We don't need to go there at all.
By not going there and turning you guys into political,
pawns,
which I think you're totally right about.
I'd rather take the public safety route and keep everybody safe.
Well,
yes. Kent Liu, Seattle Police Officers Guild president. We've taken a lot of your time, but we really appreciate it. And,
Thanks for having me.
Really insightful.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around. We're going to be right back.
The John Curley Show.
If by like the 15th of October rolls around and suddenly it's a bolt of lightning and I croak out right there, I'm fine.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
My dream of growing a giant pumpkin is just a couple of months away. I know somebody who knows somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows someone who got me the seed, the 1,500-pounder, baby. It's in a secret location. I don't want to say where it is.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
If you're like me, you're part of the sandwich generation, and it's not what you think it means. It means you're taking care of kids on one side of your life and parents on the other. The decision you make about assisted living can feel overwhelming. It doesn't have to, though. Here's what I wish someone had told me sooner. Aegis Living, aegisliving.com/spike. Go there today and book a visit to one of the many locations in Western Washington. They have award-winning services, luxury accommodations. They've been voted best of Western Washington. Schedule a visit today. Take a look around. It's free. There's no obligation. When you tour an Aegis Living facility, you're going to look to whoever you're with and say, this must be the place, because it really is. Go to aegisliving.com/spike.
This is a test of your emergency alert system.
Nick, you know what's a great thing about going to Longevity Medical Clinic as a couple?
Oh, I absolutely do. When they tell you to do something, you actually do it.
Right. And the same thing with you. When they tell you to do it, because for some reason, when I tell you to do it, you're like, whoa.
I just walk away and roll my eyes.
Exactly. But the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic, the doctors there know, because we do the blood draw and they look and they can see. They know. They hold us accountable.
Yeah, when I'm under pressure and I know I'm coming in, I know I have to work the program.
Right. Plus, we also want to hold each other accountable for how we take care of ourselves because, we want to have a long, healthy, happy life.
I know. I want every day to torture you as long as I possibly can.
Well, I look forward to it. Here's the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic. They're working with you. They're holding you accountable because they want you to have a long, healthy, happy life. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. Oh!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Epic parties start at Staples. Now you can grab Party City balloons, decorations, and tableware, plus matching custom invites, banners, and more right at Staples. That was easy.
How does your roof look after this winter? Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Spring into action today. Save $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
There are 6 markets you can place your money in. Research suggests it's better to have exposure to all 6 markets. Don't miss a potential opportunity because you didn't strategically diversify your assets. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Request your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing in your portfolio. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
Welcome back to the show. Bunch of great stuff on the show today. If you guys missed a second of it, go back and watch the YouTube. Watch us live. You can also download the podcast. I highly recommend it. This is something else I highly recommend. Teaching your kids the value of $1. Tough to do these days because $1 doesn't really buy what it used to.
Value of a 20.
The value of a 20. What is that phrase going to change? You need to learn the value of a $20 bill.
Yeah, everything else is not even worth your time.
Do you have any? I'm going to play you some audio in just a second of a mom. She's taking the ages are not clear here, but based on his height, I would say that her son in this case, a mom is standing with her son inside a food establishment, and she's teaching him that ordering in person, just showing up, is way cheaper than ordering on an app like Uber Eats or something like that. He looks like he must be about 20 or whatever.
I'm thinking the same.
Do you have any standout lessons that your parents taught you or that you taught your kids about how to value money and when it made sense for you? Do you have anything that kind of jumps out where you just went like, oh, wait a minute, like the light bulb clicks on?
Well, I was a skateboarder as a teenager. You probably can't tell that from my personal shape right now. I'm more of a spare tire kind of guy. Nice. But I lived on a skateboard. I mean, every day, all day.
That's fun.
I did tricks. I did jumps. I skated pools, all the things. I broke a lot of skateboards. And when my parents told me, look, if you want to do this hobby, you got to fund your own gear. We can't afford to put you on a new deck every weekend. Mm-hmm. And I figured out that if I wanted to have the things I wanted to do, it was on me to earn that money. I mean, I don't know if that's the teaching of value of $1.
That's 100% what it is.
So I'm next thing you know, I'm hitting on my grandfather. What do you need done around the yard, Pop? Can I weed your azaleas? Can I mow your lawn? Can I edge your things? Can I do this? Can I clean your gutters? I'm side hustling.
Sure.
At my grandfather. And then, because in my neighborhood, you guys got their lawn contracts locked up.
Yeah.
Year after
That's
year.
That's a union thing. Plus, you can't touch that grass.
Right?
Yeah, it's a Teamsters thing.
I'm like little Tony Soprano up the street from me had the entire block locked in.
Of course.
So you had to find different ways to fund your own.
Be an awful shame if something happened to you.
Right. That's a nice mower you got there. Be an awful shame if something happened to it.
Voice.
Right?
Be an awful shame.
But how about you? Because I wish I was better at teaching my kids.
Yeah, it's really tough. I'm trying to do it with my kids, and I have not fully zeroed in. Like my older 2 sons are starting to understand it because they're getting to the age where we will let them. I think probably the most effective thing is letting them go into a store and make a purchase. You hand the money over, they get the change in return, and they're seeing exactly how much things cost. And it's very expensive.
And that is a dying lesson.
Yeah.
Because of how much we just tap everything now.
Everything.
Everything's connected to a card.
Thing.
Yes.
That's the other tricky thing.
Getting foldable money out of your pocket and having them hand you less.
Even money that jingles.
Right.
It's still nice to have, but we never do that anymore. So you never actually see the money. Like I always think to myself, how much more would I be, like how much, not miserly because that's like a bad word. How much better would I be?
Frugal? How much more frugal?
How much more frugal would I be?
Yeah.
And better with my money if everything that I did was in cash, and you just have to watch as you send it out.
Right. It's one thing to tap a card, but when you lay out, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, that's a big difference.
All right, so this is what this mom, her name is Shan Nicole. She's on TikTok. This is what she did with her son. Listen to this. This is brilliant, actually.
I got to teach the kid the value of $1. Bring up your phone.
So she's standing in front of a checkout at I don't know what it is, like a Chipotle
burger place or something. Yeah.
He wanted to order something on DoorDash, and the total for his DoorDash order was going to be $37, right? So I told him, stop wasting your money just because you got a job. Go to the restaurant. Look at the price difference. $20 versus $37. So stop wasting your money ordering on Uber Eats when we can go to the restaurant, right? Okay.
Isn't that amazing?
Almost twice the price to have it delivered.
Yeah. For the convenience of having it.
It's the convenience.
When you're 20 years old, what else are you doing? I mean, like when I was 20, thank the Lord that this wasn't an option, because I probably would have taken them up on it, and I would have wasted so much money. But like, you're just looking to when you're that age, you're kind of just looking to kill time a lot.
I would think.
You
got more time than money. That's for dang sure.
Yeah, and when you're spending $37 with what you could get for $20, that's crazy.
We should speak with our resident expert on food delivery apps and services.
Do you use a lot of these, Laura?
Oh, yeah. I had sushi waiting at my door when I got home from the airport last night.
The convenience is nice, but
it's nice.
Is that for your cat or for you? That's a gift for you.
She loves sashimi.
You were just out of town because you live in Seattle proper, but like you were just out of town.
Yeah, I was down in, let's see, where did I DoorDash on vacation? I DoorDashed in Coachella, Indio Valley, and San Diego, just outside of San Diego. No regulatory response fees. And it was so much cheaper to DoorDash and to Uber. And we were shocked at the prices of Ubers to get anywhere and the prices of DoorDashing.
I wouldn't assume that in California, because California is so expensive for so many other reasons. But
they also tend to be, if we're doing it here, they did it first down there.
Yeah, they did it 10 years ago.
And the additional fees we tack on to all these gig worker services, whether it's food delivery or share rides.
To be clear, that DoorDash and Uber tack on because they don't like paying the fee that the city has imposed on them. Like Uber and DoorDash are deciding to pass that fee along to us rather than absorb the cost.
Right.
Yeah, that's what businesses would do if they want to survive.
But those fees aren't there in California.
No. Well, and again, I specify that was in Indio and San Diego, which are more slightly...
LA might be different?
Yeah, LA might be different. These are slightly more conservative areas.
But the fact that the fact that people can pay twice as much for something, that they don't have to run and pick it up themselves. Well, I understand you're coming home late from an airport and you're getting in after hours. And
every once in a while.
It's the thing. It's a slippery slope because you do it once and then you're like, oh, it's probably worth $10 to me to not drive.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't want to put on pants.
I just want it to a little knock at my door, open the door. Sushi.
You don't even have to see the person anymore.
No.
They'll just leave it.
No. I say leave at my door. I do no contact deliveries.
Yeah, no eye contact delivery. That's what people
Please
want.
don't look at me. Sometimes they're taking a picture of the food to like prove that it was delivered as I'm trying to opening the door to get it, and I get caught.
Covering your face.
It's like my version of paparazzi.
Well, send us your advice. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, 888-973-5476.
How did you teach your kids the value of a 20?
There you go. Value of a 20. We got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
ICE agents have now been deployed to 14 airports across the country.
Traffic.
Did they open lanes?
They just reopened all lanes of northbound I-5.
Engaging conversation.
If he ends this right now, it only emboldens Iran. That's a big, big mistake.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
A one-hander! JSN!
Always here, always with you. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
Get down with KC and the Sunshine Band when they take the stage at Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Sunday, May 17th at 8 p.m. The iconic 70s group has toured around the world, and now they're bringing their blend of funk, disco, and R&B to Muckleshoot Casino Resort on May 17th. Get tickets now at muckleshootcasino.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
At EasyCater, we believe every workday gets better with great food. The 9 a.m. staff meeting? How about breakfast burritos and lots of coffee? Big client presentation at noon? Let's do Mediterranean bowls. Accounting's gotta work late. Keep them pepped up with spicy noodles. With EasyCater, you get a huge variety of favorite restaurants with tools to help meet dietary needs and stay on budget, all on one platform. So make every workday better with EasyCater. Start an order at easycater.com.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel you attract people who tend to be compulsive or abusive?
Do you have money problems because of someone else's drinking?
Are you afraid or embarrassed to bring your friends home?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
More than half of all adults have a family history of alcoholism.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa this weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates this weekend only. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep discounts. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump says the United States is extending its ceasefire with Iran.
The president says Pakistani intermediaries have asked the U.S. to hold its attack against Iran until such time as, quote, their leader and representatives can come up with a unified proposal. Posting on social media, Trump also said he has directed the U.S. military to continue the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, while the U.S. will, quote, remain ready and able and will therefore extend the ceasefire until such time as their proposal is submitted and discussions are concluded one way or the other, unquote. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Just as the House Ethics Committee was about to discuss the punishment for Florida Congresswoman Sheila Sher-Phyllis McCormick, she resigned. The committee had found that she violated more than 24 House rules and ethical standards. Her attorney, William Barzee.
She was left with no choice. She could go along and allow them to just trample her constitutional rights and her due process rights. And instead of allowing that to happen, she decided to step away.
Sher-Phyllis McCormick also faces federal criminal charges, accusing her of stealing $5 million in COVID disaster relief funds. The Senate Banking Committee grills President Trump's nominee for Fed Chair, Kevin Warsh, during his confirmation hearing.
Warsh vowed he would maintain the Federal Reserve's independence.
Monetary policy independence is essential.
Massachusetts Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren wasn't buying it.
The Senate should not be aiding and abetting Donald Trump's illegal takeover of the Fed by installing his chosen sock puppet as chair.
Warsh says President Trump has never asked him to predetermine, fix, or decide on any interest rate decision. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Virginia residents are voting on whether to ratify a plan to redraw the state's congressional map. If the Democrat-backed referendum passes with a simple majority, it could increase the party's chances of flipping control of the closely divided U.S. House. Voter Corey Crouch.
I think just everybody counter-moving everybody is not the way to go. I don't think there's any bipartisanship much anymore.
After another close call over the weekend involving two Southwest Airlines planes that came within 500 feet of each other near Nashville's airport, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is asking for funding to modernize traffic control. It includes a push to upgrade old copper wiring in facilities.
It's going to take us time to develop it, deploy it, debug it, train on it. And so getting that software started now, hopefully as our build completes with all of the infrastructure.
This is CBS News.
Every Sunday, moderator Margaret Brennan goes face-to-face with top leaders to make you better informed. Face the Nation, Sunday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Coming up, a 77-year-old veteran randomly attacked in downtown Seattle. That's one story we get to after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
And this one's brought to you by the Puyallup RV Show. In Renton, northbound 405, just past 167, a collision blocked your right lane. We cleared our earlier crash further up near the VMAX, so South Center to Bellevue, pushing 25 minutes. About a 10-minute delay here. South 405, we still have scattered slowing from Factoria down to the Renton Landing. Bellevue to Renton, just under a 20-minute commute. Here in Seattle, North 5, you're slow from the Michigan Curve past I-90. Again, that Ship Canal Bridge backup starts as you approach 520. 25 minutes to get through all this. South 5 looks great. The Hood Canal Bridge is back open after about a half-hour closure for scheduled inspections. And a reminder, these inspections continue through Friday, two of them at 10:30 a.m. and the second at 1:30 p.m. Right now, there are brief backups approaching the bridge. The Puyallup RV Show is back April 30th through May 3rd. Check out all the latest new models and from 15 overstock dealers. Kids and parking always free. PuyallupRVShow.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. A former state Supreme Court justice says it is now clear lawmakers passed that so-called millionaire's tax to force a legal challenge to the state's ban on an income tax. The Senate Square uncovered these emails that show the Democratic Senate Majority Leader wants to overturn a 1933 state Supreme Court decision and change the Constitution. Former Justice Phil Talmadge tells KIRO Radio's Gian Ursula.
Case after case after case where this issue has come up saying graduated net income tax, can't do it. If you want to do a 1% across the board income tax, yeah, you can do it.
In response to questions about those emails, Senator Jamie Peterson tells us challenging precedent is common. Talmadge has joined the lawsuit against the income tax. 77-year-old U.S. military veteran is recovering now after a brutal, unprovoked attack in downtown Seattle on Sunday night. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has details.
Seattle police responded to reports of an assault near 3rd Avenue and Pine Street just before 10 p.m. Officers arrived and found the veteran down, bleeding from a head injury with a possible broken arm. SPD Detective Eric Munoz says there were two assailants. One was found quickly and arrested.
We have a 29-year-old man in custody in King County Jail. He was arrested for felony assault.
Anyone with information about the second suspect should call 911. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Bothell police have revealed more of their investigation into massage parlors raided last week.
Bodily fluid throughout the rooms. We had just interrupted a sex act.
Police say the raids were signed off by a judge. The Bothell Fire Department closed those 5 Asian massage parlors over code violations. Some activists say those raids were racist. Redmond police say they have arrested a repeat guitar thief. Here's KIRO Radio's Frank Lindsay.
Detectives say the 34-year-old man who was arrested last month is connected to a series of high-value thefts at Guitar Center locations up and down the West Coast, including one in Redmond. They believe 3 people working together stole a $3,000 guitar from that store last November. They later found it at a local pawn shop. They identified this man through surveillance footage, Department of Licensing records, and a distinctive neck tattoo. Police are still trying to identify the other 2 suspects. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Now to your weather update. We'll see some scattered showers today, nothing too intense. Some more rain tomorrow, and then drying out for the rest of the week. Right now, 60 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 2 hours down, 1 hour to go. Fastest show on radio. If you guys missed any of our interview with President of the Seattle Police Officers Guild, Kent Liu, he was on with us at 1 o'clock. Really great interview. Really good answers to questions. Very, very good. Spike, you and he had obviously probably seeing things a little bit differently on how SPD is supposed to respond per Mayor Katie Wilson's
but
point
I
of
think
view with ICE. But
found
your
common
question
ground.
was great, and his answer,
Yeah.
I think, addressed your question.
And his answer was exactly what you want to hear from the president of the Police Officers Guild.
Yes, who's
Is to
advocating
keep
for
his-
the safety of his officers,
Yes.
and the safety of the public
that they're protected, tasked
protecting.
to serve. Yes, absolutely.
So go back and listen to that if you guys missed any of that. Check that out. All right. We had a lot of stuff to talk about, and let's start with recently. We had a story the other day about in Washington, they were, we got the World Cup coming up, and they were clearing up a bunch of stuff. They got 5.3 million pounds worth of trash that they picked up.
Mm-hmm.
They picked up 661,000 needles. They're getting rid of stuff off the streets that we don't want on the streets, which I applaud them for doing. Obviously, They should do it when it's not World Cup time, but we'll take what we can get. And now Seattle is stepping up to remove another thing that they see as a problem.
An eyesore, a menace.
Is it because it's a audible menace? I'm not quite sure why they're doing this, but they're going to get rid of a bunch of pickleball courts, 56 pickleball courts.
We may have been quick to rush into the
36
pickleball
courts
phenomenon, and Seattle thinks we may have leaned in a little heavily to pickleball.
This doesn't make sense to me. This is according to Seattle Parks and Recreation. There are currently in Seattle, there are 92 pickleball courts. They want to reduce that number down to 56. And what they're saying is that they have tennis courts as well. Now, a lot of these tennis courts were then, they drew lines in to make them usable as pickleball courts.
They're converted tennis courts, yeah.
But these tennis courts, they want to keep the number of tennis courts at 107, and they want to reduce the pickleball courts from 92 down to 56. So they're going to lose 36 courts. I'm not seeing any tennis courts being lost.
Well, when you de-pickleball
they're de-pickling?
When they de-pickle these courts, do they revert to their tennis origins?
I guess they must.
Right? And then that makes them thus more, they're not going to add any more tennis courts, but they're going to take the ones that have been reallocated.
Why are they doing this? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, because pickleball is, it's a real, I mean, we have
fun.
We have pickleball sets.
It's the
we
state
play.
sport.
It was invented on Vashon Island.
It was invented on Vashon Island.
And
I get
it has taken the world by storm.
It's
you're saying that with a little bit of a wink.
No. But I think Seattle leaned in a little too fast, too hard, too much.
You think so?
I think so.
And now you think they're overcorrecting?
I think they realized that they had a lot more tennis players in Seattle than they realized.
In Seattle?
I guess that's
what
we're
seen the people
talking.
walking around Seattle. These are not tennis players.
Well, they want to get the. Is it sound? Is it the tink tink?
It must be the sound. Tennis has a nice
thud, a thump, right? The ball, but pickleball just gets right into your soul.
It does.
That noise is tink 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 tink.
But
tink,
that sound is people doing something. They're getting healthy. I lived in for a decade or so. My wife and I, we lived in Green Lake. They have those tennis courts there.
Sure.
And there's a fair amount of times that you'd see people playing on them. But in the last 10 years, it's pickleballers are playing pickleball all the time. And it's just, knee brace sales must be going through the roof. So I am a little confused as to why it feels to me like they're saying, I'm here to protect pickleball against Seattle's tyrannical government. And so I just want to know why Seattle feels like they need to single out these pickleballers.
Well, it says the city plans to build new pickleball courts, so there's not a drop-off in pickleball play.
Frustrated horse.
Right? Horse. Okay, thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah.
They're planning to build new pickleball courts, so it's not like there's, we overdid it. We overestimated the amount of pickleball fans.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's pushback from folks who can't get tennis court time.
Somebody points out, we have audio from this. KIRO News spoke to some West Seattle pickleball players who are not happy about the closures. Listen to this.
We don't really know why, and when you look around here and you see the number of people that use this on a daily basis.
And it's not a pickleball versus tennis, it's a pickleball and tennis. We're advocating for the courts here to save these courts, to keep this community thriving.
Another player talks about why she just loves this game.
You want to be healthy, you want to be active, and you want to be social. And we know that is really key to being a healthy person and also creating a healthy community. And that's what pickleball is to me. It's really about building community. To me, it's not about being competitive, or I'm not in any tournaments. I don't play like that. I play for the people.
I do wonder why they're targeting pickleball players. It must be a noise ordinance issue, or you just have people whining and complaining. Here's the thing that I'm confused by. Seattle parks are literally, they do this every summer. They literally close down parks early because there's so much violence in the parks at night.
Yeah.
That they would rather have law-abiding citizens, and I think this is a ridiculous policy, but they'd rather have law-abiding citizens not able to enjoy their taxpayer-funded benefits of living in a city because they don't have an appetite for clearing out the riffraff and stopping people from shooting people. But they are willing to go in and say, boy, that pickleball noise is really driving people nuts.
I wish
you can
they
have
just
bullets
have,
or you can have pickleball. What do you want? I guarantee you, if you did a map and you looked at all the pickleball,
most gunplay doesn't last for 2-3 hours, though. That's the thing. To me, it's I mean,
you look me dead in the eye right now, Spike.
Thank you.
Just keep it going while we're talking. You have a choice. You can live next to a park that has a bunch of riffraff with drugs and guns, or this. What do you choose?
This is cumulative. I'm telling you. I've already got some PPSD, post pickleball stress disorder.
That's funny.
I got one right behind my house. Okay.
Yeah.
We've got 2 tennis courts and a pickleball court in the park right behind my house. The tennis courts have been there since we moved in 20 years ago. I hear them all summer long. Keep it going, because I'm telling you, it builds.
It is cumulative.
Builds.
I will tell you, it is starting to be cumulative.
The tennis courts, I can live my life without even basically noticing.
Sure.
You get 4 grannies out there for a couple of hours of this.
But they go to bed early. These are people who eat early. So that's not a horrible thing.
It is over by 4 in the afternoon.
You know, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I actually like the sound of a park being used for its purposes is nice. What I don't want is a silent park.
No, I hear you. Where people are afraid to use the park.
Where people are afraid to use it. What I want is a thriving park community with people who are able to go in. All right, shut this down. It's driving me nuts.
See?
Andrew's torturing me now. He's saying no.
It's funny. We're talking in the newsroom this morning about this story because it's getting some traction, if you will. And I said to Charlie Harger, we should play pickleball in the studio
as
just as a see what this noise does.
You know what?
See how long you would tolerate this noise.
Just when you listen to it, here's what we do. Just let's all listen to pickleball for a second. Just take a deep breath. It's like an ASMR thing.
Imagine those are raindrops falling on a puddle or a stone in a forest.
It's nice,
right?
It's really nice.
I guess it's all on how you look at it.
But
Is the court half empty or half full?
Exactly. This feels like a half full court to me.
Yeah.
In Seattle Parks, they want to cut down on this. I don't know why they would want to do that. Here's what I would prefer from Seattle Parks. Let's get the shootings under control first. And then
I'm sorry to laugh, but it does seem blatantly obvious.
Yes.
That's a bigger problem than pickleball noise.
We just had a story.
Or lack of tennis availability.
We just had a story the other day. All right, Andrew, I'm not kidding now. You please, please, I'm begging you.
Remember his talk of gunfire earlier?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. We just had a story the other day about how the city is contracting with private security companies at local parks where their job is going to be just chilling out, waiting around for violence to happen, and then they'll call the cops.
Golden Gardens.
This
summer, that's right.
That's what they're going to do.
They're already going to have diminished hours in the summertime because of, as you mentioned, ne'er-do-wells and unsafe conditions in the park, criminal activity in the parks.
Yeah.
And they're going to use a private security company to be on site, and if something happens, they'll call the police.
Isn't that
they'll dial 911?
Isn't that an admittance of failure?
I think it's throwing in the towel. Yeah,
it feels like it is to me. And I'd like, why don't they just make the parks safe? Why don't they just not allow people to shoot people in the parks? Like, also,
how do you do that? How do you do that though? You can't have cops sitting there the whole night.
Sure, you can. Hire enough police officers, go in and arrest these sons of guns.
Does the security officers, the security guards, on site all night long? Does that do any of it?
I'm happy that they're there. I'm happy. Like in South Korea, they did this thing. I think it was South Korea. I don't know where it was. But
the cardboard cutouts?
No. That's also a thing.
Yeah.
Well, like in small rural towns where they don't have enough people, they will actually just like place an unused police vehicle.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And then people will just slow down because they're worried that somebody might be in the vehicle.
So
that works.
They do it here.
But in South Korea, they actually set up a hologram cop.
I remember. That's right. I remember.
You remember that?
Yes.
And it would appear at night, and the story became a big international story. And people were like, "Oh, everybody knows it's a hologram cop." And still, even though people know it's a hologram, crime in the area diminished by 30%, which is crazy, but it works.
Well, you factor in the fact that most crime late at night is committed by drunks, and drunks really can't tell between a hologram and a real officer.
Well, that's it.
That's it.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was. They would be like, "Oh my gosh, it's a ghost. Shh, it's a cop. It's a ghost cop." And so it stopped crime, or at least diminished crime. And I feel like they need to focus on the hierarchy of things that Seattle Parks should be focusing on.
Yeah,
I would start with the gun violence.
Yeah.
Below that, I would go I'd still go to like bodily harm things. So I'd go to the stabbings because there's a lot of stabbings.
Okay.
Then I would go to crazy drug stuff.
Okay.
Like that, anytime somebody's attacked by a
dealer,
a meth zombie or somebody. Yeah. Like let's stop. Let's nip that in the bud. And then 10 rungs below that is pickleballers, which unfortunately seems to be their top priority. And you know what it is? Because they're an easy target. They do it because it's easy to get to those guys.
The pickleballers?
Yeah, they know they're not going to you don't have to worry. Like, they're not going to fight you on it. They're nice. They're very pleasant.
They're good people.
They're good people.
Yeah.
And you know what? They can go play pickleball anywhere. That's the thing. You're hitting these people. It's like a tax. They're mobile. Not super, but like enough. And they can get other places, and they can go play pickleball in Bellevue if they want to.
I play pickleball sometimes.
Oh.
Is that Jacob?
Jacob, oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move off of pickleball. We didn't plan on talking about pickleball the whole time. You want to talk about data centers?
Yes.
Everybody's afraid of that. Who's afraid of the big bad data center?
What do you
think of data centers? Mayor Katie Wilson, this is what she posted about data center, and then we can talk about it. She says, and I read from her post. This is on Facebook. She says, it is important to know that the city of Seattle has not authorized nor permitted any new data centers. However, the prospect of massive new data centers being built in Seattle has raised understandably intense public alarm. I share community concerns about environmental justice, economic resilience, and impacts of increased costs for Seattle ratepayers. That's why my team is working closely with Seattle City Light, City Council, and stakeholders to identify a range of long-term policy approaches, including exploring a moratorium on siting new centers. Mayor Katie B. Wilson. What do you think of that?
I support the mayor's caution about because the story about 2 weeks ago, I think it broke for the first time. 5 massive data centers were proposed for companies here within the city of Seattle itself. The city already has dozens and dozens of
56.
data centers, 56 data centers already existing. But 5...
But they're small.
But they're smaller, yeah. These 5 massive
you can put them in
data...
your pocket.
Take them with you. They're portables. These 5 data centers could use as much power as 1/3 of the entire city of Seattle, which is... I mean, how many people live in Seattle? It's a couple million?
No. How many people live in Seattle? I thought the number was closer to like 800,000 or something.
Oh, and Seattle, I'm talking about Seattle Metro is about almost 3 million. Yeah, but okay, almost 1 million people, 750,000 people.
Sure.
So these
and I don't,
5
that's a. I mean,
these 5 data centers alone are going to use up that much power, and it's not just the power that they use because they're talking about requiring them to get their power elsewhere. It wouldn't draw from the city's power usage.
Yeah.
But the amount of power that they are using, they intrude upon neighborhoods because we're going to put 5 massive data centers in the city of Seattle.
Yeah.
You're going to sink one under Green Lake or something? You're going to put one, where are you going to put them? On the bridge deck on I-5? Take out that little park and put a data center?
Did you see this piece I sent you in GeekWire about this guy. It was an op-ed about data centers. Basically, it was kind of making the argument that I was joking at, which is that this guy named Charles Fitzgerald, he wrote this. He's an angel investor. He knows about this stuff. And he was saying that the idea of turning data centers into this big bad wolf is interesting, because when you look at where data centers are being proposed and built, it's not in big cities that have expensive electricity.
Right.
It's in places like in the middle of nowhere, in
Eastern,
Oklahoma.
or
It's
Eastern
in the
Washington.
middle of Texas.
Yeah.
It's in Eastern Washington.
Yeah, go by just past Wenatchee and see how many data centers are sitting out there.
Yeah,
because the power's cheap off the river.
Well, and also they have space for it.
They
Like
do.
Seattle doesn't have really space for these things. So he's,
Right.
he basically makes the analogy that, like, yeah, you can say that you're fighting against these things, but because there's none right now being put in, it's kind of like fighting. It's kind of tilting at windmills a little bit.
Well, his point of his article, I did read this article. It says you can't blame these
I actually
data
don't know
centers.
if that's the right analogy.
Tilting at windmills.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's fighting a monster. It's not there. That's the right analogy.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It says you can't blame these data centers for Seattle's energy prices, and he's right. There are other contributing factors to why Seattle's
it's
paying
expensive.
so much for utilities these days. But I worry about more the environmental impact of these things. That's one of the things. I mean, there's space. I forget which city it was, but somebody just paid like almost $2 billion in penalties, or a settlement, I should say, a settlement, not a penalties, a settlement
for water stuff
for polluting groundwater.
Sure,
that's the thing.
Because
About
they use it to cool.
They do,
supercomputers
and they suck
all
up
that
resources.
stuff.
I mean, they'll get their energy from an outside source, but they'll suck up resources. Their intrusions on space and on sound and on water quality to wherever they land. So I'd be cautious about putting 5 massive data centers in the city of Seattle.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and at the same time, Seattle has so many other problems to worry about right now. They have so many problems already.
What are the benefits to the city of having a massive data center? I mean, the city gets what? They sell the land,
$2
they get the
billion
rent,
in taxes.
They get money coming in.
Money comes in.
Yeah,
they would probably have to build. I mean, obviously, you can't build a house in Seattle proper without going through a year and a half of environmental regulatory stuff. They're not going to just plop a data center down without building all the infrastructure to support it. You think they'd be able to do that without, skirting all of these climate laws that they already have in place?
Well, they're paying a $2 billion settlement in one community just to get around these laws. We're talking about massive amounts of money.
Do you think that would happen in Seattle?
I do.
Do you Seattle would just bend over and just...
I think they would buy their way out of trouble and put these things down at the detriment of a lot of people.
I disagree.
It happens.
I think it's a issue that could be used as a distraction. Somebody could say, like, hey, let's fight data centers. And then while we're fighting data centers, we're not looking at what's actually happening already, which is electricity. She's saying it as if she's trying to protect how cheap everything currently is in Seattle, which is not the case.
No, it's clearly not
Seattle's
the case.
massively expensive.
Yeah.
Like
there are enough concerns without trying to float that balloon.
Well, it's because of regulations. It's environmental regulations. So you're not even allowed to build with natural gas. I looked into this. Do you know how much natural gas is cheaper than electricity, which they now force all this new construction to be? Natural gas, all things being equal, natural gas is 3.5 times more affordable than electricity.
Oh, I remember. I was a spokesperson for the natural gas industry when they were trying to eliminate natural gas as a energy option for new builds.
In Seattle, since 2021, it's prohibited for new commercial buildings and apartments taller than 3 stories.
Yep, I was part of that fight.
So they have no interest in making things cheaper for you in Seattle.
Well, that was to fight climate mitigation. That was some climate mitigation policies. That's what those were.
Wishy-washy.
And when they couldn't get it done in legislative purposes, they did it in building code.
Which is just making your life more expensive.
It is.
And they don't care about you at all. They want
you
life.
to breathe.
Nope, that's not it.
They want you to breathe.
No. If they cared about it, they'd show you the results. But they're not willing to show you the results because all they want is your money. It's a good grift.
Never deny another man his scam unless he deny you yours.
But he's denying me mine when he takes more of my money. Listen, if somebody wants to buy, honestly, this is how I feel about it. If somebody, and we got to go, but if somebody wants to buy into that, you're more than welcome. But don't do it. Don't make me pay for your delusions. That's the problem I have with it.
It's a fair argument.
All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
This hour is brought to you by Davis Law Group.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
At the Boy Scouts of America, our oath remains. A Scout pledges to be kind, helpful, and brave. We're committed to providing a safe and welcoming environment where Scouts can establish the foundations of character that will last a lifetime. Our approach ensures the Boy Scouts of America is building the youth of today into the leaders we'll turn to tomorrow. The Boy Scouts of America. Building character is in our nature. Visit scouting.org to learn more about Scouting.
If you're over 62 and feel squeezed by rising monthly bills, listen carefully. I'm Steve Teitler, owner of Best Mortgage. Every week I talk with seniors who love their home, want to stay in it, but feel more financial pressure every month. Property taxes are adding up. Insurance is up. Everyday bills are up, and for some, they still have a mortgage payment on top of all of that. Are you worried about outliving your savings? A reverse mortgage could help by eliminating your mortgage payment, paying off debt, and giving you breathing room every month. Now, let me be clear, it's not right for everyone. But for the right person, it can be a powerful tool. When you call Best Mortgage for a free consultation, you'll talk directly with me. I'll explain your options and tell you honestly if it makes sense for your situation. If you're 62 or older and want straight answers about staying in your home with less financial stress, call me today. 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage. Honest advice you can trust. 425-649-6000.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granello. President Trump now says he is extending the ceasefire between the United States and Iran to give more time for negotiations. News Nation's Libby Dean has the latest.
The president had threatened to hit civilian infrastructure inside Iran when the ceasefire expired, and today emphasized the U.S. military is still ready to do so if diplomacy fails. And of course, now we're seeing him also announce that U.S. blockade on Iranian ports will also remain.
Today's announcement coming as last-minute peace talks between the two sides in Pakistan were put on hold. New details now on Starbucks' new corporate presence in Nashville. Here's KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery.
The new corporate office is part of a $100 million expansion in the Southeast. Starbucks says it's significantly expanding with new coffee houses and wants a support office close to those new efforts, adding 2,000 jobs there over 5 years. In a press release, Chief Partner Officer Sarah Kelly says they are not moving their global headquarters away from Seattle. They are moving select teams, though. But many of the hires in Nashville will be new or converted from contractor to full-time. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
The war in Iran is hurting Alaska Airlines' bottom line. The carrier reported a $193 million loss for the first quarter as jet fuel prices soar. In response, Alaska is cutting some flights in May and June. It already raised baggage fees. At the U.S. Capitol today, Energy Secretary Chris Wright was pressed about rising gas prices.
I would say it is frustrating to see a
little bit higher energy prices right now. They're still well lower than they were 4 years ago in the middle of the Biden administration.
Washington U.S. Senator Maria Cantwell there pushing back during the Energy Committee hearing.
There's nobody in the Northwest that thinks what's going on right now is okay. Not when they wake up and airline flights are being canceled because of high fuel costs.
The national average for gas is lower today than it was 4 years ago, but here in Washington, average is substantially higher, about 75 cents more a gallon compared to April of 2021. Raccoon survives after it caused a big power outage in Sumner early this morning. The update from KIRO 7 TV's Dee Sun.
This morning, there were more than 6,000 customers in the dark. Officials say a raccoon climbing a high wire and damaging circuits caused that problem. Thankfully, crews act quickly and got everything repaired around 8:30.
And that takes us to 2:32. We have Nate Connors now with the real-time traffic desk.
Hey, thanks, Aaron. This report brought to us by Seattle Sports. Well, we cleared that collision in Renton, North 405, just past the Valley Freeway. You're slow from South Center through the S-curve. South Center to Bellevue still taking 25 minutes. Bellevue to Renton, a 20-minute commute. It's heavy through Factoria. By the time you hit on 112th, though, you'll thin out. The Valley Freeway is starting to fill in southbound. You're crowded through Renton, and then stop and go volumes between Algona and Sumner. Renton to Puyallup, a 40-minute drive. We have our typical afternoon scattered backups north 5 through downtown Seattle between the West Seattle Bridge and the Ship Canal Bridge, up to a half hour to clear all this. South 5, you're still looking good. We're beginning to thicken up, though, at 520 past the Convention Center, and a wind advisory just issued at the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Mostly cloudy today with some light scattered showers throughout the afternoon. Some more rain tomorrow. Rest of the week, though, looking good. Right now, 61 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. We're very excited. This is kind of this is part 2 in our 2-part series. A crime that Spike and I are investigating. We're not the only ones investigating it. Actually, we're well behind the curve on this one. Other people have been looking into this quite a bit, but
they've done the legwork. But we've got the airwaves.
But we want to take credit.
Well, at least please sound the alarm.
We want to help out.
Yeah,
as best we can. So this is how we're doing it. There have been some businesses in Seattle. In this case, these are production studios that have been ripped off by pretty sophisticated thieves. And we talked earlier with a guy named Derek Klein. He's got a company called Olympic Studios. And he found himself realizing that he was going to get broken into a second time. He found himself lying in wait with a shotgun, waiting for these guys to break into his business. And was able to stop them from breaking in the second time. And he says, you got to talk to this guy named Chris Hunter. He's a director. He's an engineer at Tenacious Venture Studios, and he's got the inside scoop on this, and he's really dug deep on this. And so we said, all right, let's get Chris on the show. So he comes on right now. Chris Hunter, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming.
To be here.
Yeah, thank you for being with us. Now, we talked to Derek earlier about what happened to his business. Mm-hmm. How did you get wrapped up in all this?
Well, it's a long story. I'll be real concise. In November, we had our building broken into. They drilled through the front door of our building. We're in a large building where there are many tenants, and we have our separate entrance. And they basically drilled through the lock and pried open the door and made away with almost $400,000 worth of equipment. Basically, they just loaded a bunch of Pelican cases and laptops. We had like 30 laptops stolen. We're a production company. We kind of like a TV studio. We're set up in that kind of a setup, but lots of high-end cameras, a lot of ancillary gear that support all that was all stolen. And we found out that the building was broken into because a Good Samaritan up off of Gilman saw a bunch of our Pelican cases spread out on the sidewalk and called our number because our stickers were on it. So that's how we found out.
Oh, my gosh. So what time of night was that when you got that call? That must have been a horrible call to get.
Well, that was about 4 a.m.
Okay.
So I raced down here. The police were already here because the alarm was going off. And then the responding officers were amazing, by the way. Like, in fact, the initial officers stayed for quite some time, and during that period of time, another Good Samaritan up near Queen Anne called in saying that she was blocking some of these guys trying to load these cases into their van. And I said, well, hold on, I have an officer here. And he raced up right away and retrieved some of the gear back.
What about the guys? Did she get them on video?
Do you have any leads? By that time. They had raced off by that time. So that was kind of the end of it. We filed a report, and then we kind of waited, hoping that a detective would get assigned, and it took quite some time for that to happen. The next part, so if you have any questions now, I'll certainly answer them, but I have some other stuff to lead into it.
Well, I guess my next question would be probably what you're going to lead into, but what has been the response? When we talked to Derek Klein just a little bit ago, he was telling us that he's not gotten the response he was hoping from local police and investigators. Yeah. And then we, just by chance, we had already pre-scheduled this, but we were talking with the president of the Seattle Police Officers Guild, Kent Liu, with us just like an hour ago. And we told him about this, and he said, we are stretched as far as police officers go. Seattle is stretched incredibly thin, and that could be why you are seeing kind of a backlog of some of these things pile up. Not that that's an excuse, but like what's been your take?
I mean, I understand the plight that they're under, and we're definitely looking at a situation where Seattle really only has 7 total detectives for all of Seattle. So that includes, you heard the previous officer talking about the different tiers of priorities, and one of them was processing people. That's the top tier. The second tier is violent crime. The third tier, which is property theft, virtually gets no attention. So that's the hierarchy of how things go there.
So what does that do as a business owner and somebody who has $400,000, taken from them? How can you afford to stay in business?
Well, I mean, I don't know, I wouldn't say we're fortunate, but some of the jobs that a lot of the equipment that we've needed aren't happening this summer. But we did have to, buy some new equipment to augment what was stolen. And so it's not, it's not pleasant.
Yeah,
it's not something you want to have happen. And, you might hear me laugh a little bit because I'm trying to keep a good positive.
So you don't cry. I get it.
Yeah, and the owner of the company, his name's Colin. He's out of town right now, but he and I both have been steeped pretty deep into investigating this. What started was we received a call from a local freelancer who purchased some gear on Facebook Marketplace. He thought it was weird that he paid $600 for a $20,000 piece of equipment. He opened up the case to configure it for himself, and he saw our sticker, so he reached out to a friend of his because he didn't know who we were, and he said, oh, yeah, those guys just got hit. So he reached out to us, told us he bought the stuff on Facebook. We gave him the $600 and gave him the gear back, or he gave us the gear back. And then I looked on Facebook Marketplace that night to see if I could see any gear, and I saw a bunch of our gear. And it was – so they had taken a picture of the equipment in front of a window looking out onto Pioneer Square, and I thought it was Pioneer Square. So I put those images in ChatGPT, and it gave me the location of where they thought it was. I used Google Maps to verify it. I drove down to the building and discovered exactly where it was, the floor and everything, and at least that's where they were processing some of the gear.
So Chris, let me get this straight. You know who took your stuff. You know where it is. You've got. I mean, you bought your stuff back. You found more of your stuff on Marketplace, and you've done everything. You should call the Seattle Police. Say, look, if I bring the guy to you, then will you charge him? Will you arrest him? What's it going to take? How frustrating is it to not have these guys saying, okay, thanks for doing all the work?
Yeah, you built their case.
I mean, they're doing the best they can. Like we're not interested in
all evidence to the contrary. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. It's frustrating.
No, we're not interested in throwing the police under the bus.
No, we love the cops.
Definitely, what happens after the fact is where we're falling down in the city, right? Like, how do we go? Like, we've done a ton of investigation. We've handed them a gift of wealth of information. We've followed them, because we set up sting operations, we actually purchase stuff back. We have video of the interactions. We know all of the public storages that they're using. In fact, they're using one that was right behind our building, we found out.
What?
And today, the funny story is today, just an hour ago, I received a call from Public Storage, and one of their tenants quit paying the storage fee, and they found our equipment, and it was one of the storage units that I followed this guy to. So we got some of the gear back today. But this is a ring. It's a multiple level ring. This has been happening up and down the coast from Portland. We know of places in Portland, and it's a large group of people, and they probably don't even all know each other. So
let me, and we got about 1 minute left, and then I want to stay checking in with you because I'm fascinated by this.
Sure.
When you're setting up a sting operation, are you? I assume you have no background in this. Obviously, you've seen a lot of movies, so you know how you've seen Donnie Brasco. You know how these things go in the movies. But when you're setting up a sting operation, what's going through your head? You're like, if I get these guys, what then? What do I do then?
We really just wanted to follow them. We were not interested in doing any kind of citizen's arrest or anything, but we asked the police to participate. We gave them precise times and locations for it, but they just say we don't have the availability, and
Did they discourage you from doing it yourself? I imagine they did.
No, we did it. We went through with it. We did a couple of them, and there's lots more information I can give you. I know you're pressed for time, but
can we have you back on sometime soon? Because this is we've just gotten to the meat of. This is so fascinating to me. Can we do it maybe this week? Can we get you back on? We can go into detail about a sting operation, a citizen's sting.
Yeah, sure. In fact, the owner of the company will be back on Thursday, so I'm sure he'd love to be a part of it and provide some insight as well.
All right.
Well, thanks for not moving your business to another city, state, or region, dude.
And Chris, all right, Chris Hunter, director and engineer at Tenacious Venture Studios. We got to go right now, but we're going to reach out. We're trying to get you on at the end of the week, and I want to hear more about this.
Sounds good. It was nice talking to you. Thanks for having us.
All right, Chris. You too, man. Stay safe out there. That is wild.
It's jaw-dropping. It is just jaw-dropping.
I mean, we saw cases about missing donkeys from in here. But
he's doing all the work, and I mean, I respect the fact that he's understanding the police department's position.
Yeah, he's stretched thin.
Gosh,
but he still wants his stuff back.
Yeah,
fascinating. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Text messages, all that next. Stick around.
Tomorrow morning at 7:45, the late night hit and run.
It was very dark, very foggy.
A $50,000 reward.
Nobody stopped for him.
And still no answers for a desperate family.
It is really hard not knowing what happened to our dear son.
This is James Lynch. I've covered crime for more than 40 years all across the country. Now I'm turning my focus to some of the toughest cold cases right here in Western Washington.
The Cold Case Project. Tomorrow morning at 7:45 on Seattle's Morning News.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Be advised, this is your opportunity to save up to 40 to 80% on a hot tub or swim spa. This weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates, this weekend only. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Deep, deep discounts. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Friday, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission. Free delivery. Washington State Fairgrounds Event Center. Call 833-SPA-SALE or visit hottubandSwimSpaSale.com.
John Curley here. You know a smart thing to do right now? Upgrade your cooling now with Home Comfort Alliance. Choose a Lennox cooling system and get a heating system free. Their 60-second online price estimator makes it so easy. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com today.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Looking for lumber with a story? Then you've got to check out the new Earthwise Salvage Lumber Warehouse in Soto. Be the first to get your hands on reclaimed lumber with original character and local history. Their warehouse is packed with new inventory now. But when this wood is gone, it's gone. So act fast. Come visit the Salvage Lumber Warehouse for the grand opening on May 2nd from 11 to 3 in Soto. And remember, this lumber is harvested from structures, not forests. Find them at ewsalvage.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. Try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice.
DayandNight.net.
This month, Day and Night gives you a free furnace with the installation of an AC or heat pump.
If you're not sure your furnace will make it through another winter, call us to install a proper, long-lasting, efficient heating system backed by our lifetime workmanship guarantee, so you won't be left out in the cold.
Install an AC or heat pump and get a free furnace from Day and Night Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
DayandNight.net.
All right, welcome back to the show. A lot of great stuff on the show today. If you missed a second of it, go back and get the podcast. You won't be sorry you did. We got text messages galore. Let's get to those. Laura, start us off.
Yes, on Asian-owned massage parlors being shut down, story of the day, Naked Snowco says, as a garbage man, I've dumped cans at massage places, not Bothell. And yes, they had condoms in the can. Oh. So weird.
That's pretty gross.
Yeah, Jen in the 206 says, a while back, an uninsured guy driving out of a local and well-known Asian spa hit me and totaled my car. No insurance, no registration, nothing. And get this, the city eventually shut the business down, but the building is quietly and slowly being transformed into a preschool and daycare. Great. At least that's what it says on the outside. Oh, gosh.
Brad from Grand Mound says, I am the same way. I do not like massages at all. I was saying that I've only gotten one massage in my life, and I realized that I do not enjoy strangers touching me. But some people do, and that's fine. Just not too much.
This next one, Laura, I think it came from the story of the fired teacher, or the teacher who resigned.
Yes.
At Glacier Peak, because when we were giving you that update on that story of a teacher who inadvertently showed some thumbnail shots of breasts to his class as he was teaching.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying.
If you will.
So Elliot says from on a ship in Texas.
Nice.
Hey, boobs! Can we save the cut of Jake saying that and drop it in to other stories later?
Sure.
It's an evergreen.
I wanted to run it past you guys. Podcast title for hour one?
Sure.
You think that's a little too far?
I don't think it's a clicks.
Boobs, I quit.
We had a great interview with Seattle Police Officers Guild President Kent Liu, and we were talking with him about repeat offenders. Fernando in Seattle said, shouldn't he be railing against the city attorney? She's the one who decides who to prosecute. He did mention her in his talk, and obviously you need police to feel like if they're going to put their lives on the line to arrest somebody doing something illegal and get in their way of doing that thing, you want to make sure that those people are also going to be arrested and prosecuted.
And
I'm sorry, not just arrested, but prosecuted
You're
for
not
the
arresting
crime.
the same people tomorrow for the same crimes.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve in downtown Seattle says, rather than either jail or drug court, why can't we provide drug treatment while they are in jail rather than either or? Why can't it be both at the same time?
Sam in Redmond says, my car was stolen from my driveway last year. Sam, I had the same experience 2 years ago. The thief, with a long history of drug offenses, was arrested sleeping in the car 3 days later. The thief put up a fight with deputies at the time of arrest while wearing $600 worth of my jackets and shoes and an empty bag of edibles on the front seat. He was involved in a hit and run in Bellevue as well. The only thing he got charged with was possession of a stolen vehicle.
Ugh, that's frustrating. That's very frustrating. 425, we talked also in that conversation, really great conversation with Kent Liu. Spike had some great questions about ICE and Seattle's response to that. 425 says, say, Spike, ICE is not acting illegally. You just don't agree with their method. Those are two different things, so stop it. That's from 425.
Well, we can agree to disagree on that. I'm not saying ICE is legal. I'm saying what some of the things they do are acting illegally. And that's fine.
Kent Liu was saying, you're putting us in a political position of having to, you're making us part of that political conversation when what we want to do is just protect citizens in Washington by being a barrier between ICE, who's doing lawful things, and protesters who have their right to protest, but you should not be the flashpoint, he kept saying, of those two meeting is a bad thing. And I think he's right.
360 says, masked men tell you to get in the van. Is that an abduction or law enforcement? I'm not getting in.
I would not get in a van either if somebody told me to.
Oh, Jeremy in Falsoon says, look at these conservatives arguing for federal overreach.
For federal overreach? I don't know what Jeremy means by that.
He means when federal agents come into town and violate civil rights by grabbing somebody unidentified.
That would be doing something. If they're doing something illegal, I'm not for that. If they're doing something legal, then I'm for that.
Therein lies the gray area,
Yeah. I mean, it's not a gray area. If it's legal, then they can do it. And if it's not legal, then they shouldn't be doing it.
On teaching kids the value of money, 253 says, my 7-year-old wanted an Xbox, so me and the wife made him a deal. He has to do chores to earn cash, enough chores to come up with $27 a month. That's like a lot of chores. For a year and a half. He agreed. So far, 3 months in, he's made every payment. I told him I'd repo the Xbox if he failed to make a payment.
Funny.
Oh, that teaches the value of money.
That is some real-world life skills.
That's great. Good for him.
Dave says, easy. I have a 21-year-old daughter and a 16-year-old son, and they both got jobs at 16 years old. They both work at Chick-fil-A. That teaches them the value of earning a buck. And
there you go.
Yeah.
How old were you when you got your first job?
Side hustles for the grandpa, 14, 13. Yeah. But paid going every day, get a paycheck, 18.
Official paycheck?
18 years old.
Yeah. I think I was just turned 16. It is a pretty, it's a great feeling.
It is.
Money coming in.
And a paycheck.
All right. John Curley is coming up next. Thank you guys so much for hanging with us today. We should do it again tomorrow. So we'll see you back here then. And check out the blog, or not blog. What is it called now? Just check out the website, northwest.com.
Oh, yeah, the
we
podcast.
post a bunch of stuff there.
Yeah, we're all over the place.
And everything else. Check it out. All right. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Local local news from local voices you trust.
Flights out of Joint Base Lewis McChord.
KIRO News Radio.
Questions about whether the Pentagon is deploying special forces to the Middle East.
The news you depend on.
Gas prices up 25 cents in the last week.
Conversation.
Then all of a sudden, Trump comes out, hey, we're having productive talks.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
There is one real estate agent who's been helping KIRO listeners longer than anyone else, and that's Wes Jones with sellwithwes.com. Wes, you've helped KIRO listeners in good markets and more difficult ones. What do you think has been the secret to your success?
Thanks, Brandy. Experience has taught us that to outperform the market, we needed to do things differently from the status quo, that we needed to do more. Our exclusive system covers innovative marketing locally and internationally, leading to more eyeballs on your home, better listing prep for better showings, negotiation strategies that eliminate pesky buyer contingencies, and generate stronger offers. Through our exclusive client programs, our sellers enjoy an extraordinary marketing experience utilizing techniques a traditional agent cannot offer.
So if you want to sell your home faster at a higher price and with fewer contingencies, if you want more, visit sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com, a better way to sell your home.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Spring is a season homeowners start improving their homes. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. If your home needs roofing, siding, new windows, gutters, or decking, our team can take care of it all. For a limited time, save up to $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows project. Planning multiple